meeting in July that you had no responsibility for that playscape. So we would respectfully request that you don't bill us for a project that you have disavowed any knowledge of.
I did get asked by the board to look into this. There was a $2,500 not to exceed on that. And that's the reason I went through the reports and did this research on that. So that's the, no, I anticipate being paid for that work. So
That not to exceed was given in the July meeting?
I'll have to go back. I don't remember if it was I don't even remember. It was probably.
I didn't see it in the minutes.
It could have been May, it could have been May or June. Probably the June meeting is what I would guess.
Well, please give us an opportunity to pull those minutes and find where we've done that. And then, of course, that would be, if you had board approval to do that, of course, we're going to pay you to do that. But we are not going to ask you to do any more park stuff because, as you stated, that is not the expertise of a civil engineering firm. That is the expertise of a landscape architect. Mm-hmm. So we're not gonna ask you to do park work.
Okay.
Okay. But if the board did approve that expense, by all means, of course, we're going to pay. So give us until tomorrow to check that. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll check that.
That'll be fine.
And I have a question. Do you know specifically what meeting? Do you recall what meeting did we?
I believe it was the June board meeting.
June board meeting.
Is when the report came out, I believe.
The first inspection.
Yes.
So that was the July 19th, is that correct?
No,
the 19th report, or
June.
No, June 27th, you're right.
June.
June 27th. Okay.
And then, there's no other comments on that one. The other question I had also going through the packet, I noticed that there's a request of qualifications for engineering services.
That's my agenda item.
I'd kind of like to know what's behind that.
Let me explain that. The TCEQ suggests that we reevaluate and rebid our contractors every 5 years. As you know for sure, you've been with this district for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. And your services have never been rebid. And so we don't know what the competitive rate is for your services. We just know what you bill us. So we are going to, we are not firing you, let me be abundantly clear. We are going to compare your services to the market today to see if we can get better pricing.
Okay.
But I would encourage you as well to submit if you're still interested.
Can I make a statement? Didn't we just go through this less than 6 months ago?
No.
And that we voted that we would not be doing that?
That was a previous board, and that was in 2021. It's on the agenda. It's my agenda item. So I'm answering his question. We'll get a vote for it when we get to that agenda item. But that's exactly why I'm doing it. Okay. And it's not just you. You're just first. Anybody who's been here over 5 years is going to get a close look.
Okay. Well, it was just, when you go through the packet and you see these things about an RFQ and holding checks, and it's just
the holding checks was we could not
thing.
Remember, and when
can we move on to the next? Can we move because it's another agenda item?
Yeah.
Can we discuss that when the time comes? Anybody else before we move on to the next agenda item? Any other question to the engineer? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Herb, are you putting together a cost estimate for the lead and copper rule for the survey?
We did have a not to. I can provide one. The authorization was a not to exceed of $25,000 on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. All right.
Okay. Let's move on to item number 3, consent agenda, including approval of the minutes of July 19th, 23 and July 25th, 23. And that's your. Who's going to item number 3?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we approve and publish the minutes as presented with one confirmation needed on the July 19th minutes regarding a vote for the painting and repair of the old mill gazebo. Once that's confirmed, then they're ready to go.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Okay, we have a second. Discussion. Let's start with Kelly.
Yes.
Okay.
No discussion.
Good. Beth?
I didn't read the second one, so I'm not gonna vote on that.
Okay.
It'll be a no.
All right, so all in favor? All right, motion passes. Item number 4, accountant's report.
Okay, so we have Ashley back online to go through your report. She's on the computer. We also have Ron in Park Pro Tech, so his camera's gonna show up. You can ignore him for now. But the board can see you guys. I'll turn my camera on so that you can see them.
Kenzie, could you grab the microphone?
Yes, I have one right there. Ashley, go ahead and talk. Let me make sure for the good volume.
Alright. How's this?
That's okay. Okay, I went ahead and turned you all the way up.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Great. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you through the camera this time. So in my folder on your tablets, I've included a couple different things. So first I wanted to talk about some of the bank documents that I included. There is a signature card for the bank that was approved to be open last time. We didn't have the signature card since it wasn't approved yet. So that is in there for all of you to sign. There is also one for TextPool. We do need access to these accounts and we have to have board signature for that. We need it at this meeting so that we can get that turned into TextPool so that we can make your debt service payment before it is due. So that's the first thing. I'd emailed all of you. I don't know if you've seen it yet because it was only a couple of hours ago maybe. But I included all the director fee requests that I received in the folder so that they can be approved at the meeting since they will not get posted to the report. Since we do use a third-party payroll service, it will be on the next report. But I do still want y'all's approval on that, so it is in there for everybody to see. And now we can go over our report. On page 2, we have a cash flow. The balance flows from your last report. We're going to be requesting a wire, and with TextPool access, we should actually be able to do this ourselves now for $350,000 to cover everything. As you can see, we have a lot more this month than last month. Yay! This is 2 months worth of deposit refunds. Y'all should have checks to sign. It should only be about half as many going forward. There's also some regular checks. From what I can tell, they seem regular. And then we are including 2 holding checks for Eduardo Maldonado, as we discussed at the last board meeting, to do holding checks for him so that they are approved by the board in advance to pay him, so that we don't have an extra account where the bookkeeper is approving things. So that's what this is going to look like going forward. Nothing too crazy. Disbursements are going to total $331,000 plus the extra for Eduardo when those come through. This is leaving your balance at the moment at about $79,000 in the account. Following the cash flow, you'll see a schedule of debt service payments. I did review the debt service schedule, so this is accurate. This is going to be your last payment coming up in just a couple weeks. Like I said, we'll be paying this through TextPool once we get it set up with access. They usually have a turnaround of a day on that, so it'll be nice and quick once we get that form scanned into them. After that, I have put together a proposed budget. This is, of course, a first draft, and I made a couple of tiny changes, nothing big. There's just a few things, like I know that there's no meeting meal expense anymore. I adjusted, I think, printing and office supplies, things like that. Very tiny changes. Most of it's exactly the same. I will be sending this out to all consultants to get input on everything so that I can make this as accurate as possible for what we're looking at for the next year. If you have any questions on that, you can of course ask me. I obviously don't have a lot of input on it at the moment since we're still waiting for some information. But like I said, I'm going to be getting information for this, and I will be sending this out tomorrow so that we can get going on it as soon as possible, because I know that we are looking at setting tax rates, and that is of course very important. So I'm doing my best to get this together as accurately as possible. That is everything I have. If you have any questions for me.
Yeah, Ashley, I have a comment. Our manager has just informed me that this $79,504.85 that will be remaining in the bank account, once the Infomark check clears, which is 54-ish, that will take us under 50,000. And our manager says it is a good idea for us to have 50,000 minimum in that account at all times in case we have something that comes up in between meetings that needs to be paid. So could you transfer enough to make sure that we have 50,000 after all the checks clear?
Absolutely. I will be taking a much closer look at that. We just got Cadence Bank access, so I will be going through the last year and looking at everything. So it will be, I will transfer enough. Don't worry, we do try to watch account balances now that we have access to it. A lot of banks can be very slow, unfortunately, when working with new bookkeepers, but we do have access now.
Wonderful, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Good?
We're good.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Question?
Do y'all need Ashley for anything else?
No, thank you, Ashley, we're good.
Okay, so can I pop off or do I stay?
Yeah, no, you can get off.
Okay, alright.
Thanks, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye, Ashley.
All right, manager's report.
Well, actually, no, sorry, under the accountant's report, number 4E, you have a resolution to adopt and approve a for a pledge agreement with New First Bank. You all authorize your bookkeeper to open that bank account in June. You have the signature card, which you've approved today. However, we have a resolution in your packets as well documenting that you all are wanting to open up an account with New First. So that's something that we'll send to Ashley. Sometimes banks ask to see it. Sometimes they have boards adopt resolutions for accounts. Other times they don't. I'm not sure if New First requires it, but we do it for all of our districts and all of our separate accounts. So that should be in that green folder.
And we just need to sign it. Do we need to send a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve it.
Okay. So, Secretary, you want to go ahead and submit the motion, because your signature, my signature.
I move that the board approve the resolution authorizing the account at New First National Bank.
All right, we have a second. Any questions, discussion on this item? Beth? We're good? All right.
I'm good.
All right, we have a second. All in favor of approving the resolution? All right.
Thank you.
Okay, manager's report.
Sorry, I don't know why it's not in the folder. Recently, I've had technical difficulties with this for a good portion of today. I will get it uploaded afterwards. For some reason, when she uploads it, it is not coming up on those things.
It didn't come up.
I know, I just watched her upload it though, to the folder, and it's not popping up, so I'm gonna have to go in and pull it in myself, sorry about that. I will upload it as soon as we finish. Anyway, so coming through the executive summary, and there's really not too much that you all aren't already aware of. We do have one proposal in here for xeriscaping, but I think that it's probably the Parks Committee's wish that we hold off on that and look at the options for repairs of just the current sprinklers in the planter boxes. I haven't heard back from Land Care on that, but he did assure me that it's going to be a little cheaper than the previous one he gave us to upgrade them to a little bit larger head. That's still their recommendation because of the plants and their growth periods and things like that. However, they're going to provide a quote for just repairing the heads that are there. Once we have that, we will send it out to the Parks Committee.
Can you remind me, that was about 3,700,
The xeriscaping is 3,700.
so it was 3,700 to xeriscape all of the planters and replace the sprinkler heads with more like drip irrigation for the trees that are in it. And I had asked for a comparison as to what just repairing the existing sprinkler heads would cost.
So we're just gonna wait on a quote to come back from that, and y'all can reconsider next month. They need the water right now anyways. So, for the Sunchase Playscape removal, I'm just gonna touch base on this, and I think it'll be covered further under the Parks Committee actual agenda item. We have received 2 proposals for removal for consideration, and those I believe are in the Parks Committee folder you guys already have access to. One of those is from Cuts and Cleans, and one of those is from Park Protec. I do have Rod on my computer, and Rod will talk about it when we get to that agenda item. Rod is with Park Protec. Dustin is on his way here. He hit some major traffic coming in. He would have been here about 40 minutes ago, but he's coming from San Marcos. So he is on his way here, to my knowledge, still. So he will come in person and hopefully be present before you get to that conversation topic. Just wanted to touch base on that. We've already touched base on the planter boxes. All inspections for the parks have been completed, and we do have the reports for that. Park Protec completed all. I got the drop inspections today, which is the surface inspection. So I'll make sure to put that on the online forum for you guys to look at later. That includes the surface testing. So they did complete those. They had some trouble getting their documents uploaded, to my knowledge, from what I spoke with Dustin about. So we'll get that uploaded. Aside from that, the repainting of the old mill gazebo, I have requested additional proposals, but my main focus this month was the parks, so I kind of drove into that and handled a lot of that. I haven't heard back. I did follow up on the 2 people that I had asked. Hopefully we'll get another proposal from you guys, or for you guys for next month to consider against Cuts and Cleans. The yoga deck standing, I've asked the same people for that. Again, followed up, but I haven't heard back. The El Salida monument sign. That is going to be a costly repair. We reached out to the original company that installed it, so they would be very familiar with the components inside, how it was installed, and everything, and I think the proposal is $22,000 to replace it. And they do believe it needs full replacement, unless you want to pick something different to go there. So that might be something that the infrastructure committee can consider moving forward, of what would be a better option, less costly in the future, because we've had problems with the lights inside of that sign for years. So it might be something the infrastructure committee wants to consider. If you 2 want to take that under your wing and start looking into some options, we can work with Herb. There are concrete monument signs where just the light is behind the letters, they're metal letters with lighting that broadcast behind them. You could go with something like that, and it can say the same thing, but it won't be a metal box that's hollow inside and can get dented in if a car barely bumps it. So I would recommend reconsidering other options that will hopefully not cost as much in the future. But we did get that proposal. I think it's in the packet. If not, I'll make sure it's in there. Additional swing repairs. So the 3 swings in Anderson Mill West Park, parts have been ordered. Those will be completed, and it came in under your not to exceed almost $200 cheaper, $720 or something to that nature. Also done by Parks Protec. In addition to that, excuse me, in doing the inspections for the district, they did find that the majority of our swing sets are out of compliance by a lot. Rusted out fittings, there's a whole number of things. They did provide a proposal to revamp all of the ones in Anderson Mill West Park and all of the ones here at Lakeland Oaks Park. And that proposal, I think, is $3,400. That's new seats, new harnesses, or the chains, it's new everything but the structure that they're attached to. It's a fairly decent price to do all of them.
Don't we have swings in Valente Hills and,
I think we do, but I think they're newer.
okay,
And
those
so
that need-
I'll check, we can ask Dustin when he gets here, but he suggested it for this park and Anderson Mill West needing it the most. And their expression was immediate. So if you guys want to take that under consideration, I can give you a full amount. And that was, sorry, trying to scroll some more. Should be. I'll find it in a minute. It's on the first one. I know. I don't know why you're just being so funky. Okay. I'll get you an amount for that in just a minute. I'm going to finish the report really. So we'll discuss the additional swing repairs needed. In addition to that, we did have a resident reach out a gentleman from the Spectrum Retirement Community reached out and requested we bring it to the board's attention that they would really like a streetlight installed at their driveway at the enclave, just as a safety measure. If the board would like us to entertain that, we can reach out to PEC and get a quote on installing that for you all to consider next month. If that's something you all would like us to do, here it is. Hi, Dustin.
Sorry about that.
We've just briefly been talking about it, but you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Remind me, the total amount for the immediate swing repairs needed, not the 3 that you're already doing.
I believe it was,
34 something, 34.49 I think.
yes.
So you could do 34.50 to account for the cents if you wanted to push that tonight. Anyways, is that something the board would want us to get back with PEC on, get you guys, we'll price the pole, PEC will have to accept it into the plan for maintenance moving forward. But is that something y'all want to consider?
We can certainly consider it since we're going into a budget cycle. And you also need to replace the one on Little Elm that was in a car
They've
accident.
pulled it down and I think that they are already working on replacing
Can
that
you
one.
check on that one?
I
Is
think
it-
AMC can make note of that one. I know our guys took it after it got knocked down.
And this is the enclave on El Solido. They have 2 entrances, they only want 1.
To my knowledge, they're asking for 1 light, on that one portion of the driveway at night for just safety of the senior citizens living there, their families that visit and leave after hours.
There's on the email, in the email, there's a map where he has,
We can send that out too.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark.
We buy the pole and PEC does
Takes
the
it
light
under the
fixture.
maintenance. After we put it in, PEC takes over maintenance of it.
So we pay for everything and then they take the maintenance,
Just like right now, if a pole in your district gets knocked over, you have to pay for it.
like in Little Elm. Okay, yeah, so get us the quote for both of those, please.
Aside of that, the notable customer request I forwarded to the whole board, for the resident on Birch. She did reach out requesting payment plan extension. We did let her know through customer service. We unfortunately could not offer her one due to her being cut the prior month. I just wanted to notate that and put it up here for discussion if you guys wanted to talk about it. If not, we have notified her. I have not heard back. So that's kind of where we are with it.
Am I to understand that her water has been turned off since the 10th of this month?
Yes, ma'am.
So she's been in 110-degree weather with no water.
Correct.
But you confirmed for me she has over $800 in
Yes.
deposits on account.
Yes, ma'am.
How much does she owe?
Currently 730 something.
Can,
includes an
It was in my
additional
email.
it includes the additional 200, but we haven't
It does.
changed the rate order, so we can't do anything about that. However, we could use all but $200 of her deposit money to bring her balance down so that she can hopefully afford to pay her water bill.
She did state that she could make payment, but could not until September 2nd. So I think, I don't know if that means she could have paid the whole 700.
I don't, that's,
But
you know, since when we get to the rate order, we're gonna go over that in great detail, but, and we can actually address this after the rate order, but I think there's a way to give this woman water, and then, she'll never get in that situation again where her water bill is, I mean, as long as we continue to add deposits to her account, she can never get out of this hole, and that is not our mission here.
Yeah.
We want her to pay for water, that's all. So I think we have a solution. She might be off by a little bit of money, but I think we can get close. And then this won't be a problem in the future.
do you want to defer item D on my report until after you discuss your rate order?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Of course.
Mackenzie, how many other residents are without water due to non-payment?
she's the only,
She's the
I think
She's
we
the
dwindled the cuts list down to 2 people total, and the other one's been turned back on.
If it wasn't 110 blazing degrees outside, this wouldn't seem so inhumane, but it is inhumane.
That's part of the reason why I brought it.
So but I think I may have a solution. So we're going to try to apply a solution so this woman can have some water.
Aside from that, that's really all we had included this month. Just as a small update, there was the leak on Kristen Lane found repaired last night. Samco came out yesterday afternoon. Samco's a leak detection company. We contacted 2 companies and found out who could get here faster on Friday. Samco could get here Monday morning, so that's what we did. It was a total of $37.50 for them to come out and do the immediate leak detection to locate the leak, and they did very precisely. We ended up calling emergency locates yesterday afternoon after getting the report back from Samco showing exactly where it was. I sent my crew out immediately and they repaired it in a couple of hours last night. It was a failed tap line is what they determined it to be, and it's the tap that services both homes in that to that meter box. So they did pull it, and it's a fairly large leak, that even though that slit looks small, that's an extremely large leak. We've checked the manhole twice today. The water has slowed down from overnight into today. It's infiltrating the storm sewer manhole in that cul-de-sac. That will need to be repaired, but right now we're going to leave it as is because it's a test to see how much water is still flowing and if that was the only leak. As of right now, it has continually slowed down today, so we do believe it is the only leak. The ground is still very wet, so you're going to get a lot of groundwater until it dries out. So they're going to continue to check it over the next couple of days, maybe even weeks, to make sure that it completely stops, and then we'll go from there. As far as Sunchase goes, I know that there's been water coming into Sunchase. I had a crew out last week, and I believe they actually went into the inlet to try to locate it. It's coming from too far within. The great thing about this, though, that I've kind of discovered is there's not too much that feeds that area, so we should be able to locate it rather easily. We have asked Samco for a quote if they will come out and do that leak detection as well. I have sent an entire crew out a couple of months ago, actually, when we had water coming into that trickle channel, and it stopped within 3 days, and then there was nothing. It was dry when they came out to look for it. So there was, of course, no leak located at that time. Not entirely sure what that one could be, but we're going to see if we can't figure it out. We'll hopefully have a quote next month for y'all to approve and look at from Samco, and then we'll just kind of have to go from there to see if we locate anything. I'm not definitive that it's a leak. It just might be somebody doing things and draining things that they shouldn't be, but we'll check.
There is also a leak in the Lente Hills where the yoga deck is.
Is it an irrigation leak?
No, it's coming out of the storm runoff.
The storm sewer?
It's actually been there for a while.
The Lente?
We've always had water problems right there.
So if they're gonna come out and.
Yeah, no, I agree.
might
We'll ask them to do all of it.
Get them a quote on that one, because that's been happening for
It's in the
years.
trickle channel?
It's the same water problem that's always been there. That we need.
It's intermittent and it stops, and so I think we've actually pulled a residual, and there's no residual in that one, so we didn't try to detect it. So what we do typically, just for the board's knowledge, if we find water in a trickle channel, we pull a residual to find out if there's any chlorine in it. If there's chlorine in it, we know it's an actual potential leak, and we try to track it down. That's what happened in Sunchase a few months ago. Pretty sure we pulled the Lente's residual.
Well, there wasn't
in
any
the
residual
past.
in this one, was there? Because I talked to the crew and they said that they didn't get any
No,
chlorine.
there wasn't.
So.
But in
it was
weather
a-
like this, it will burn off.
Right.
So that's
So,
true.
so.
That could be happening in Sunchase
Right.
and Valente
In
as
Valente.
well.
So
Well,
that's-
we've gotten a residual from Sunchase in the past.
Oh, you have?
About a few months ago, we did. And that's when I called a crew out to check, and it was gone by the time that they came out. There was no more water. It was completely dry.
And when was that?
I can get you a work order date. It was a couple months ago, though. It was, I'd say, May-ish.
I've been photographing it every day for almost 3 weeks, and there's water in that channel every single day, so there is something leaking.
There is, or there's someone discharging incorrectly. We'll figure it out, though.
So those two, and waiting a whole nother month to resolve the problem seems,
I just don't have a good not to exceed to give you.
you don't, okay.
Unfortunately. So with this one in particular, Kristen, we had it pinpointed. We know it was within a certain range of that storm sewer. I don't know that their quote's going to be similar because the range is a lot further at Sunchase to figure it out. Even though there's not much that feeds it, it's still a farther range to look. They use their camera and they go down every path that they can to locate it. Then once they do, is when they pinpoint it from that point on. They also do other things like they can do pinholes to see if the ground is soft, things of that nature. So they have far more advanced leak detection software. I just don't want to give you $37.50 again and it be astronomically higher because the geographical area and the line distance is significantly further.
Well, with the plans that we have, that we got from her,
That's
you
for
should
Kristen
be
only.
able
Yeah.
to identify somewhat closer where the
What
leak is
flows
coming
there?
from.
Yes, however, what we're gonna have to do first is figure out between what two manholes it stops at.
Right.
We haven't found that yet, and I gotta get the plans from her for Sunchase. I have not gotten
Well-
those yet.
It's coming out of, because in that
Trickle channel.
trickle channel, it actually splits left and it splits right, and there's actually more water coming out of the right one than
Right.
the left one. I took a little trip inside.
Inside as well, yeah. They went as far as they were comfortable going, but it's coming from far ways.
Yeah, it's, so, okay. Yeah, we just need to determine where it's coming from, close so Samco can,
What I can do is, if you wanna delegate to a committee a not to exceed amount, just for the one-time issue, and y'all pick the amount, if it comes within, then I can present that to the committee and the committee can approve it. My suggestion would be the infrastructure committee. I think you would be covered at a not to exceed of 15,000, I don't think it'll get anywhere near that.
10,000.
However, I would hate to say 10 and it come in at 10.5, or something of that nature, and then we can't move forward.
I'd rather have the whole board decide.
And, you know, if we're gonna have to wait a month, then you can get other bids.
Keep in mind, your meeting isn't even a month away. Aren't you gonna meet earlier in September than normal?
Just for the tax rate.
That's gonna be
But
a
we could
regular
include it
meeting,
in
yeah.
that.
Yeah, unless you did it separate, but.
It's exactly 3 weeks.
Okay, then we can do it as a board in 3 weeks.
Okay. So we'll bring it up then, but I will have a quote long before then. They should get us one this week, no doubt. They just didn't have the chance to get us one today. They were obviously out here yesterday.
Can you get us a second and possibly a third quote? as
Yeah,
well?
Accurate, we can do Accurate, Samco. I don't know of any others that do in this area. Even Hurd said those are the only two he knows of, but I'll see if I can't find a
Okay,
third.
well,
But
if you can, great, if you can't, at least
So-
get us more than one.
yeah, so just for the board's knowledge, we did ask Accurate and Samco for this leak, and while Samco did come in more expensive, Accurate couldn't get out here for 2 weeks. And that was too long, in my opinion,
Yeah.
for an emergency,
It was
when we
long.
already knew where the leak was, so.
Is Samco just SAMCO?
Mhm.
Okay. Can you send me something about them so I can have their full?
Mhm.
Right.
Yes. Okay, well, tell them to give me their info. That covers the majority of my report, unless you'll have any questions. That's all that's in the executive summary, I've gone through every bit of it. Just so
But
know.
you will put it out there?
In just a minute, I'm
In
gonna
the board
try to get it to
packet, okay.
upload.
Can you send, they might be in that report, but can you send it those two quotes that you got for the removal? You said cuts and cleans and another company?
They're both in the Parks Committee folder, they're already online,
Parks.
right? I think you put them in there, I think I saw them in there.
I see.
The two removal proposals for Sundays. Pretty sure Kelly put them in there.
Okay, I don't see anything.
If you don't, I can definitely add them.
Thanks.
Right.
If y'all want to, my suggestion would be, since Dustin is already here, do y'all wanna move up that discussion item? And
Who is Dustin?
Dustin is with Park Pro Tech. He did the recent inspections.
Oh, okay.
And then they're also the ones that are replacing the 3 swings in Anderson and the West, and they've provided a quote for removal as well.
Perfect, yes. We don't want to keep him any longer than he needs to be here.
No, you're okay, you're absolutely okay.
Do y'all wanna move forward to that item and then,
I'm okay with it, how about you, Nicole?
I'm okay with it. So,
so
we good?
I will let Kelly and David kinda take the reins here, if y'all wanna, how do y'all wanna,
Is this agenda 7?
yes.
7, 8.
So, or is it
No.
6A?
6.
6A.
What you were saying, just,
No, it's old business, right?
yeah.
7A.
And just so y'all are aware, Rod, who I believe,
Yes.
are y'all related?
Yeah.
Okay. How are y'all related?
That's my father.
Okay, so Rod is online. He's also with Park Pro Tech. Here, I can turn the camera on so that you can see them, sorry.
It's okay.
So all that
Board,
park stuff is under agenda item 6 in the board packet.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's an unexpected surprise. So I guess let's start off by, why don't you tell us about, in general, the results of the inspections in our parks excluding Sunchase Park?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, when I went through all 7 of the parks, which one of them is just a fitness league, so that doesn't fall under the same regulations. For Park Protect, we only follow ASTM and CPSC regulations. Those are based federally. So we go out there and we inspect based off of only those regulations. And what we found for the most part was just general wear down of the playgrounds. After a while of them sitting out there and children playing on them, they do get run down. And without that general maintenance, they kind of fall off after a while and it picks up. So what used to be a loose screw or a bolt that was loose or something that was kind of worn turns into something bigger later on. So that's kind of what we were finding at most of these parks. I know a few parks are just swing sets, but the main issues that we have out there are the surfacing is a huge one. I know that we did drop tests on the surfacing as well, and a lot of those came back as failing. And that just comes from having to bring back in that loose fill and make sure that it's at a 9 inches minimum for safety surfacing. And I know that engineered wood fiber is different for every company out there. There's certain companies we work with that requires 12 inches for the fall surfacing out there, others are 9. But the minimum requirement for ASTM standards are 9 inches. And most of your parks are anywhere between 0 and 4 inches. So most of the time if a kid falls, which that's the most likely chance of a kid getting hurt on a playground statistically, is them falling. They're basically falling on hard dirt or rock, and there's a few over there that are kind of cement underneath in a way. So it is something that I would love to see and address with you guys, and we can get quotes out to you as well for refilling that fiber as quickly as possible.
Yes, please.
And then there are other just issues that need to be...
Sorry that I stopped you there. Is it better for him to, because this is very important for the public, there's a lot of information, misinformation and good information going around, and so I just would like to see if can we pick his voice where he's standing, or do we need a mic?
Yeah, we can mic him. Just
excellent,
hand him
perfect.
a mic.
Can I ask you a quick question?
I just want to make sure that your voice is...
Are these checked? If it's that low, the standards are supposed to be 7 inches, 9 inches, sorry. And they're like, that kind of seems like maybe it's
And then this
a
is
year
going to be
or
the fall
years
test.
that they haven't been checked.
I do intend to ask that question.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
McKenzie,
you.
you check them every year.
We don't measure height, we just break them up. We don't go based off of any requirements. We've never been told that there was a requirement.
I just want to make sure that
Would it be okay if I can answer that question for you?
Go ahead, Rod. Are y'all comfortable with Rod?
Our objective,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rod.
can you guys hear me? Our objective for Park Protect is purely one thing. We have no dog in this fight. We're not out there to sell you brand new playground equipment. We're out there to maintain the equipment that you have and give it life support for as long as it needs. So when you look at all your installation of your playground equipment, I'm using this one for example. This is from Little Tykes. It states on every install manual of every playground equipment that has IPMA or ASTM playground equipment that you must, and it's hard to see, and I know that, it says must establish a playground maintenance program for your playground equipment, or the end user or supplier ends up with the liability on it. That's all we do. We go out and inspect it. We go out and take care of the loose bolts, the hardware. We adjust stuff. We put the age-appropriate stickers back on it. We give the reports to the decision makers, which is the board, to make decisions on what they want to do. For instance, as Dustin was talking about, and Mackenzie was talking about earlier, the swing sets. It's something this simple. In my hand right here is most of your problem. This is the swing set bushing right here that's brass. This takes a very, very long time to wear out. If we were on there on a regular basis, I would go ahead, part of our maintenance program, I would punch that bushing out and put a brand new one in. But since maintenance hasn't been done out there in a while, it's worn all the way through, which is taking out your clevises, your hangers, your bushings, and the anti-wrap swings around the bearings are all gone and stuff. And that's just from maintenance that needs to take place out there. So that's our only purpose, is to go out to make sure that the playgrounds remain compliant and give answers and information to the decision makers, which is the board, to make decisions on stuff, repairs or future repairs on the park equipment. We do not replace new equipment. If you guys need your equipment replaced, there's 1,000 companies that don't do it. We just go out and maintain the existing equipment that's already out there.
So are you saying that each piece of equipment has its own maintenance schedule, or is there a standard in the ASTM?
On ASTM 1487, the standard is a judgment call based upon CPSI certified playground safety inspectors decision. If I have a gated community and it's 10 miles from another population, then it doesn't get used up as much. So we look at quarterly or biannual basis. If the playground equipment is used or sitting next to an elementary school or a lot of kids, then we go ahead and start looking at quarterly maintenance. And I'll tell you guys right now that looking at maintenance out there, we're looking at replacing $3,000 worth of playground equipment, hardware that's out there, which, with a maintenance contract of a couple $1,000s a quarter, this would have been rectified. This would have been null and void because we've been replacing this as we sat out there. We wouldn't have this issue today. And I'm passing blame. I'm just saying that all ASTM guidelines state that there must be a maintenance program in place, and that goes for every manufacturer of commercial playground equipment. Game Time, Little Tikes, Play World, it doesn't matter who it is. They all have the same guidelines placed upon them.
And so your opinion of the maintenance that's been done on the parks that you inspected so far is that there hasn't been the requisite amount of preventative maintenance?
I'm just telling you that when we walk it, we're very thorough, even because that software that you guys got in the report we developed, and it's not like any other software. We're just telling you that maintenance needs to happen on a more regular basis out on those parks. I can't tell you what's taking place or what kind of maintenance you have currently on those playgrounds, but for us, our whole world revolves around kids having a safe place to play, and routine, regular, very cost-effective maintenance goes a long way. That's all I'm telling you.
Mackenzie, do we have a maintenance program, or have we ever had a maintenance program on our playgrounds?
Not to my knowledge. All your playgrounds were inspected at install,
And never after that.
never afterwards.
Is there a program that you can come, is it something that one of our technicians would be able to inspect more on a regular basis, and y'all come in once a year to inspect because you guys are certified? Is that something that's possible, or
Is it possible? Yes, and I'll just tell you a little brief history about Park Pro Tech. We've been doing this for 20 plus years. We do work throughout Texas, Utah, Nevada, Colorado. We do, 1,000 projects in master plan communities and for entities, throughout San Antonio and in the Austin area and everywhere else. When we go out and we're asked that question, it's again up to the decision makers to make that decision. And I'll put it like this. For the meaningless number for us to go out with our band and our technicians to go out and perform maintenance on it on, let's say, a quarterly basis, and let's say that quarterly number is $3,000, and in our report we take care of the playground equipment, safety surface, we write up all the stuff, we give it to Infomark or whoever gets the information, and they bid that stuff out, we keep maintenance above it. Is that worth a technician going out for $45,000 or $50,000 a year and stuff and going out inspecting that playground? That probably doesn't know what he's doing. So, it depends on what your guys' appetite is. I would say I would never venture down that road for liability and for protection, but that's for you guys to decide.
okay.
Well, I would be interested in your company providing to us a recommendation,
Playground maintenance.
playground maintenance
Dustin
program.
has that tonight.
Yeah, so I actually passed it over. I have an annual one set up, but I was going to come in here and say exactly what Rob was saying, where an annual is great for kind of an overhaul to look at everything and try to tighten everything up, but the regular maintenance, the quarterly, is something we recommend the most, just because of how often children play on these things. I mean, it takes a team of 5 guys 2 weeks to put these things in, and I've seen kids take it apart in 24 hours. I mean, they're really good at what they do. So our job is to be proactive and not reactive. So if we can get out there and address the loose stuff and fix the things that are broken when we're out there every few months, it won't turn into this where we have a big stack of issues. It'll be, a few projects here and there to get replaced throughout the year or years. And then if a new playground needs to go in, we'd inspect that and keep it looking brand new to keep that warranty. So say a slide breaks and it's still a warranty, we'd reach out to the manufacturer, let them know it's under warranty, reach out to you guys, and then get that slide in place for you. So that's our job, is to keep everything safe before something happens and not have to come in now and give bad news like this with some of the things that are on here.
So does that mean that, Mackenzie, you guys won't do surfacing anymore? They will be?
No, we'll still do our standard rake it up every now and again to fluff it up, but that's all we've ever done.
And we brought some in last year.
We actually have it on an every other year basis that we're supposed to be bringing in chipped wood to replenish, but it's never been, in my understanding, to a certain inch height, and it's been done by certified ASTM contractors. Like Funabounds, TF Harper, people of that nature. TF Harper did your
Yeah,
last.
because Scott brought in a bunch last year.
Well, I think that it's incumbent upon the district to embark on some kind of preventative maintenance schedule. We have a large number of parks for such a geographically small area, and some of the play equipment is quite extensive. I mean, here especially at Anderson Mill West Park, and anybody who watched the last meeting knows that playground safety is dear to my heart, and so I'm looking forward to going over your proposal.
Thank you. You know, our biggest obstacle is going out there. We're not going to catch everything, and board, you're not going to catch everything, because playgrounds are classified through a priority 1 through a priority 5. I'm going to be very graphic. A priority 1 means death or severe injury to a child, and number 5 means they got a skinned knee. So when we go out there, we like trying to remove caulking entanglements, get rid of impalements, try to stop the entrapments that can cause a kid to choke, or whatever the injury could be out there. That's our ultimate goal. We're not going to catch everything. We want to take that big stuff out of play that can cause severe injury. There's not a playground out there in this world that I even work with today that's 100% compliant, because as soon as a kid gets off the slide, he kicks the wood chips underneath him with engineered wood fiber, and it goes from 12 inches to 8 inches, so it's already not compliant. So think that it's always going to remain that way is the farthest thing from the truth, but it's to go ahead and remove those severe obstacles that are in the way, which are the impalements, the entanglements, the entrapments that cause severe injury or death to a child. That's where we're at. We want to remove those severe injuries.
Thank you.
So I have a copy of the annual maintenance agreement. We can see if Dustin, if you all want to put together a quarterly maintenance agreement, you can get that, then I'll distribute it to the board, and you all can look at it and discuss it at the next, or approve if you'd like the next meeting.
Okay.
I have a question. So I heard you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, but you're recommending a quarterly inspection as part of the maintenance agreement. Is that customary in city parks, or can you?
Well, it absolutely depends, like we were saying, on the amount of play on these playgrounds. I know there's a lot of properties that we take care of that we do monthly, and there's some that we even do weekly because they're played on so often. But the customary is usually quarterly. That gives enough time for everything to kind of loosen up, for kids to play on it. A couple months, we get out there. There's a lot for us to take care of, to fix. You know, we remove graffiti when we're out there, so we'll clean up stuff. I don't know how bad it is here, but we remove that stuff and we take care of those things. But quarterly is usually the max you kind of want to go on heavily played playgrounds, because after that you're getting to points where it's not just a loose bolt or loose bolts or something that needs to be addressed small that we can fix while we're out there. It would be something bigger where it got loose, kids were able to shake it, break it. Now it goes from just us doing the inspection and maintenance to having to order a $400 panel plus install and everything. So that's what we're trying to avoid, is that kind of thing.
Gotcha. And I'm going to ask you a legal question. I know you're not an attorney, but in your experience, I want to make sure that we are doing our due diligence, right? That we're filing our quarterly report of safety check. It's quarterly would sort of prevent us from negligence per se, or is it, if we do 6 month or a year sort of check, minimizing the risk? What's your experience, or have you had any issues like that?
I would love to answer that one for you and stuff, because I've spent so many years doing this. The liability is large. We just didn't settle. We were involved in a $23 million lawsuit for a swing set that fell and hit a young kid in the head. And it went like this, and this is the reason I'm going to get to the answer. That the kid was failing in school. He's 14 years old. He was playing on the swing set. They didn't do any maintenance on the swing set. The top bar finally broke all the way through and struck the kid in the head. They went and did a CAT scan and found a small dot on his head. Well, the rule of thumb is that at the age of 50, everybody's got a chance of catching Alzheimer's or dementia. They got a 4% chance of catching it by the age of 50. But since he had this small dot, now he's got a 100% chance of catching the 4% at the age of 50. He was awarded $23 million, and each homeowner was assessed $83,000 because it went exceeded their insurance, their $2 million binder on the property. And I'm not scaring you. I'm just telling you that quarterly inspection would be better for us to go out and maintain it, and for anybody, not just the city, a regular HOA or master plan community, showing that you positively took a step forward to maintain that equipment, than to push it out and not do anything at all. And as Dustin told you earlier, that your engineered wood fiber is really super low right now, and the number one cause to an injury is a kid striking his head to a non-compliant safety surface. So we want to catch that in the early stages. So you guys are going to be proactive of going out there and doing, repetitious maintenance on a regular basis to find out and check the pulse of your park and stuff. So liability would be not doing enough, but enough to not get out of the liability, but to state a case.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Anybody have anything else on park?
No, I think maintenance is a great plan. My concern is that there are certain parks that get used more than others. So I don't know if necessarily we need, like Valente Hill, that park barely gets used. Do we need one quarterly on that one? Where I would say that Henderson Mill West Park and this park here at Lakeland is something that gets used more, that would need more frequent. So that's the only place where I'm kind of.
When you put your schedule and program together, can you build it based off of parks that get more use, getting more frequent visits, or more or less build it based off of expecting more repairs out of the parks with more use?
Like Dustin stated, the first time out of the gate, we want to go through it, and like we did with this report, find everything that's wrong and go after it, whether it's caulking a joint that could cause an entanglement, tighten the bolts, get the hardware down. Do it for the second quarter and find out where we're at, and then do a check on that and take a pulse check on it. But I fully agree with you. They may not all need quarterly. There may be some that go biannual. There may be some that just go annual based upon the use. But we have to start a baseline somewhere to figure out where we're going to go.
And if we're out there and we're working on something and you guys have something that comes up, an inspection's coming up, we have no issue with stopping by that park, taking a look at it, seeing what's wrong with it. We're already in the area, so it's not like we're going to tell you, no, we can't go out there. We absolutely, our goal is to take care of the community and make sure that every playground's safe. If something comes up, we absolutely will go out there and take a look at it for you. But like we were saying, our big goal is just to get the priority 1s and 2s down. I did the numbers. We have 21 priority 1s for your parks, 11 priority 2s. Valente Park, as you were mentioning, I know it doesn't get played on a lot, but it's pretty bad. There's no surfacing out there, and there's a lot of broken items out there. So once we get these addressed, obviously, every single inspection after this will look better. As we go through and handle all of these, we keep all of the inspections in a cloud-based system. There's a login to go into. You see all the inspections. So as we finish them and put them up there, you can download them and see them. Those are for your records. You don't have to keep an actual paper trail. If something does come up for a court or anything like that, and you guys are doing maintenance and regular care for it, we would come in with you guys and let them know, they're doing regular maintenance. Here's all of the reports. Here's all of the things that we fixed for them already. Here's how much they're taking care of their items. So this is something that we kind of stay active in with you guys.
Absolutely.
I don't have anything.
Okay, so in the interest of respecting their time, is there any objection if we move on to the discussion of Sunchase and ask them to present their report?
I don't have any objection.
I think that's what everybody's waiting to hear.
I guess let's go ahead and just tell us what you found at Sunchase Park and tell us about your recommendation.
So, Sunchase is a special park, obviously, as you guys already know. When we go out there, like I said, we have to base everything off of those ASTM regulations. There's no two ways about it. We can't skirt some of the stuff or go off of our personal opinions. When we get to playgrounds that aren't, in our eyes, or what we've seen, certified, or they don't have any certification numbers on the playgrounds to state that this was ASTM certified when it was placed in, we have to still go off of those regulations as they're given. Upon looking at the Sunchase playground, we tried to rack our heads around trying to address some of the major issues, like the guardrails going up past the slides. There is issues with entanglement and entrapment with kids going down these slides. You have to have free area on both sides of the slide all the way down through to the exit, and there's no possible way to do that. We thought, okay, we can remove the slides, but then you kind of remove the only things that are able to be played on out there besides a few of the other items. There's entrapments and entanglements on the barriers at the tops of the slides where children can get their heads stuck. It's kind of like a V shape where if a kid falls on the other side, it'll pinch down and they can't get out of it. These are kind of our major concerns, these priority ones. The surfacing did pass the test when we were out there, but it's a newer playground, so that surfacing is going to have the engineered wood fiber at a higher level. And there's a few pieces of hardware that aren't certified per ASTM. They have to be like tamper-proof bolts and screws. So kids can't come in there with screwdrivers or sockets and just take the thing apart. And there's items out there that kind of show us that the playground itself isn't up to code. And when we put everything together, there was no possible way that we could see a fix to keep the playground on site. So our recommendation would be to remove the playground, to remove the liability completely, to ensure that nobody does get hurt on that property. I know that there's turtle fence out there currently, but that's not a huge deterrent for kids. Kids will still reach over and play on it regardless. And we just want to make sure that the community is safe. So our recommendation was to shut that one down and remove it as quickly as we could. And we couldn't find another way around it based on what we found out there. And the equipment around it, the stepping stones or the stepping blocks, they weren't concreted into the ground or placed in any which way that allowed for safe play. They were really rocky, and I know a few of them out there have already pulled out of the ground. So yeah, that was our main recommendation, is to remove it and try to put something in there that's safe for these kids to play on. It's a beautiful location. You've got natural shade out there, and I would love to see something in there that's really pretty for the community.
Does anyone have any questions? Go ahead.
Is there an opportunity to get the builder to come back and look at it? Because as I was listening to the residents of the community earlier in open session, you know, they have concerns about that thing being taken out and the money that was already spent for that structure. It is a gorgeous structure, and it's kind of a native kind of tree look. I would at least try to get the builder to come back out there and see if he can make things right. At least try that avenue on my behalf. I don't want the city to spend any money that they don't have to. At least try that avenue before you guys pull the trigger on having to remove it. But again, we have to follow the ASTM and CFSC guidelines, and right now there's so many priority ones on it. It's really a great looking little piece of playground equipment out there, but unfortunately it didn't follow any of the standards. But if the builder could possibly go out and take a look at it and try, we would be more than happy to go back out and relook at it at no charge to see what they have done. But as it stands right now, it's just not compliant.
I have a question. According to your experience, because you're recommending that the actual builder comes back to the property. So according to your experience, this playground can be brought up to code, correct?
I'm saying that he should have the opportunity, or he should be responsible to come back out and look at it, because I've been doing this 20 plus years. I've also served on the national board to teach certified playground safety inspectors. And I think with any product that is sold, they have a right to sell you something that is safe. Doesn't matter if it's the chair you're sitting in.
That's not answering my question. My question is, I mean, you've been doing this for how many years?
20 plus.
20 plus years. Have you ever encountered an experience similar to this one where things can be brought up to code?
That have been successful,
meet the
no.
standards, huh?
You said that have been successful? No.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to say something. At our July meeting, this board motioned and it passed for Cole to reach out to Tiny Town and talk to the vendor. Cole, did you have an opportunity to do that?
I did.
And what did
yes.
the vendor say? Turn on the microphone.
I'm gonna speak first, if that's okay.
No, I want
No,
you
she
to-
asked the question to the attorney. You guys ask her the question, then we can
Regarding
go in
this.
there, yeah.
Okay, that's all. Do you want me to go, or do you?
No, I
No, you go first.
They just said I cannot.
So I spoke with Derek. Derek is out of the country working on a project. So, there are a few items that the board wanted me to discuss with him. One was whether he was willing to get certified in order to construct playgrounds for public use. He stated no. He stated that he does mainly projects for private use. He had done 2 projects for cities, and the insurance that you have to carry to do those projects it's very expensive. So he tries to avoid doing that type of work in the future. Right now, he said he just doesn't have the time to get certified, and he probably would not want to get certified. He did state that he would be willing to come out and look at the structure and see if there's anything that could be done to be remedied. However, he stated he would want some type of additional indemnity agreement with the district, because he's been obviously with this project for, I don't know, 1.5 years now. I think it's been from start to finish. So there have been a lot of people working with him, talking with him, a lot of people who probably should have been associated with the project who weren't associated with the project. And so he feels like if he does come out and has some potential fix, that it would open him up to additional liability. So, he would want a really strong agreement stating that, no director will come after him, no member of the public would come after him about anything. And not to mention, and for you guys who are on the line and are here with ProTech, there was no contract for this playscape. So, yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, you have the contractor come out and construct whatever the contract stated and you put up the standard. That doesn't exist in this case. So no person will go out and on their own dime do any repair work. They would want to be paid for it. So he would expect the district to pay for all that remedial work. That's kind of how I left it. He very well might be on this call or listening in to the meeting right now. I'm not sure. I mentioned he's out of the country. So I just told him, you all are going to discuss it today. He did state regarding the removal, he stated that, he doesn't like being the bad guy if he would have to come in and remove it, but he understands if you all want him to do that, he can. He doesn't think he would be able to find a third-party seller, it'd be an individual or for private use, but he would certainly look into it. But again, he and his crew, they are out of the country right now working on another project, so in terms of timing, I can't speak to that, and I didn't get into that with him.
Did he say he would charge us to remove it? Will we have to pay him to remove it?
I'm going to assume yes, but that question didn't come up when it happened. I just, knowing...
It would seem unconscionable if he's gonna turn around and resell it. We've already paid for it, $50,000. And if it cannot be repaired to a standard, which these gentlemen both, not Dustin so much as the guy on the screen, they've never seen one that has been done successfully, to invest more money into it, and then it fails again. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and I know at the last meeting you all talked about maybe having another contractor come out and look at it and see if a certified playscape or playground company would take a look at it and see if they could provide a quote to get it up to ASTM standards. I don't know if that's them. Okay, so if they're not able to, then I'm going to guess that probably across the board most groups would not be able to. But I don't know. That's your field, not mine.
We actually work with, we're not promised to any manufacturer out there, so we're really good friends with every manufacturer out there. They wouldn't touch this playground as far as we know, because it's not either their equipment and it's not certified. They don't want to put their necks on the line to try to fix something that they know isn't safe for play.
Because then they're liable.
So they wouldn't put their slides, their guardrails, or any of their equipment onto this property whatsoever. And we've ran into that a lot. Other companies coming in and wondering if they can get a slide from this company or here, and it's never happened. It's not something that happens.
And that's pretty standard across.
It makes sense. And the non-starter for me is if Tiny Town wants us to sign away their liability and us assume it, that's a non-starter for me.
So again, I don't necessarily know what type of agreement he has in mind or would want. I think he kind of wants something that would protect against harassment or potential harassment, or just any liability probably from the time that the construction started till it ended. I mean, there's no way I would have let you, one, we would have a contract, but there's no way I would let you all enter into any agreement that stated when the project's complete, the liability, he's not liable. I mean, he would have to carry his insurance, and that would be insured for probably 2 years after. So that wouldn't happen. It would just be more of if you all wanted to go down that path, what would you all be willing to discuss with Derek, and what would Derek be willing to charge the district to do the repairs? It's really an open-ended.
Can you tell me how many priority ones were on that sunshade?
Sorry, I think Beth is wanting to ask a question as well. So
Okay.
I don't
just
have
wanna
a
make sure-
question, I'm just gonna share.
Okay, can we have Linda finish her line of questioning,
Yep.
and then we can go with you? Okay.
I'd like to know how
Go
many
ahead.
priority ones, which are death or loss of a limb, and how many priority twos are on sunchase?
So it's hard to say exactly how many priority ones because we group them as a certain amount. So priority one would be entanglement hazards on the railing. All of the railing in its own way has a entanglement hazard. So you could say there's one, or you could say there's 30, but the vast majority of the equipment that's out there right now standing has priority ones attached to it all around it. Not to mention foundationally, you can walk out there and push on those rails and stairs and the whole thing wobbles. And
That's just not safe.
yeah, there's no way that we could go out there and say that we could address it, fix it, or work on it. And going back on your point, did you say that they weren't licensed or insured to do commercial installs?
That's my understanding. And this, I'll be very clear to everyone online, I think this project started about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
Prior council, prior board.
Prior council, prior
committees.
board. So this is, I'm learning this as we go along as well.
That's just our concern. Is
It's,
go ahead.
we've been told that this particular vendor is not IPEMA certified. He doesn't build commercial playgrounds. He doesn't know what the standards are.
Okay. I think Rod would agree with me on the line that to have them, I mean, they're definitely liable for putting that in and they're on the line for that. But to have them come out and try to add things to it and additionally try to work on it with continued lack of certifications is a huge liability in itself.
That's my concern. Maybe I'm done.
All right, so Linda's done. You want to go ahead and?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to day one when this playscape was put in. I'm just gonna be very blunt. When this went in, the day that it went in, Megan and I were there most of the day. I invited Kelly over to come and see this playscape with Derek when it was being put up because I thought it would be the polite thing to do. When Kelly arrived there, she was not interested in meeting Megan. She was not interested in speaking with Derek.
Okay, point of order.
She was not,
Point of
no,
order.
it's important to talk about this
This
because
has
this
nothing
is
to do with the playscape.
$50,000. It does have to do with the playscape. She was unwilling to meet with Derek. She knew the issues that were going on because she was taking pictures. And less than a couple of weeks later, she said that she wanted to have somebody come out and inspect it. My question is to this full board, why was Derek not asked to come out and fix this playscape first? I have spoken to him. He was willing to put in new rails. He was willing to remove the slides. He was willing to do everything, but he was stabbed in the back. He was never called. He was never spoken to what the problems were. Nothing at all.
Okay, I'd like to answer your question.
No, I'm not done. You went ahead and called somebody to come out and inspect it without having Derek have the chance to come out and inspect it. He's never been written up. He's never had anything bad. He's done this for humongous places around
He
the
doesn't
world.
build
Can
commercial
we-
It
places.
doesn't
okay, hold on.
matter.
It's her
He's
time. She
willing
needs
to
to
fix
finish.
it. He was willing to fix it. However, he watched this last meeting. He saw how badly you attacked him without ever calling him or trying to work with him at all. It's like saying gossip to somebody, from you to her to her. You have to go to the source. Why didn't you ever call Derek and say, Derek, this is what's wrong. Can you fix it?
Okay, Beth.
Never.
You have finished your question and I'm gonna answer it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Are you done with your question?
Yes, because Derek, I want people to know, Derek was willing to fix all of it
Okay, can you
until
restate
he heard
your
that
question
you guys
again so
would
she can
probably
answer?
sue him.
Go ahead and restate your question so she can go ahead and answer.
Why did you never contact him and you were so rude to him from the get-go?
Okay, that's it. You
I'm
can
not
go ahead and
answering
answer
the
the
second
question.
part of that. The answer is, and for everybody, I had a bad feeling about the structure from the moment I laid eyes on it because it doesn't look like a commercial playground. I took pictures because I was interested in it and because I was on the Parks Committee, but I will tell you why I never contacted Derek is because I sent an email, I Googled playground safety inspectors. I sent an email to an inspector saying, how much would you charge me to do an inspection of this playground? He said, send me a picture and I'll send you an estimate. I sent him a picture. He wrote back and said, you need to get that thing out of whatever playground it's in. The manufacturer has obviously not been IPM EMA certified. They are not qualified to build commercial playgrounds, and I don't even want to inspect it because it's residential. And so that's why I never contacted Derek, because from the get-go, I was informed and by a certified professional that that structure is unsafe and hazardous and needed to be removed.
But he was willing to fix it.
Hold on a
You didn't
minute.
give him a chance.
Beth, give it a second. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it is clear to me that you have contacted Derek, correct? And he has, I mean, we've heard it. I don't have to repeat it again. And he wants us to absorb the liability if he comes out and fix it. I don't think so. Now, I don't know if you have any other question before I go with my questions about this.
I can tell you that he has heard the people speak here.
Mhm.
He knows exactly who stabbed him in the back and where he would have been able to fix it and do the things for a really good price to fix it all, but the trust is gone. He will not repair it.
All right.
I'm sure you think it's funny, but it's not
okay.
funny to all these children.
Can we move on?
And the $50,000 that was spent.
We need to stop this. I think there's.
I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah, I have another question.
Go ahead.
Just want to make sure that we make an informed decision here. And what I'm seeing so far, I'm not liking. Breach of warranty. In your experience, if, let's say you were to come out and fix it, and I'm hearing you're not willing to do that, bringing it up to code because of the amount of liability. What if you were to come out and fix it? Would you be breaching the warranty on a product like this?
There's no warranty on the equipment. Obviously, it's not made from a manufacturer that follows ASTM and IPEMA. When there's equipment that's not IPEMA or ASTM certified, we apply the ASTMs and IPEMA to that equipment. So if he brings it up to an IPEMA or an ASTM standard, we'd inspect it as such. There would be no warranty on the equipment unless he carried the warranty on it, but he could bring it up to standard, which would take a lot of work. I'm not saying he can't. But we have to judge it upon the standards. Whether he's a major manufacturer or not, we got to apply those standards to that playground equipment. So if he's willing to try it, you guys are willing to let him bring it up to standards, all we can do is go out and inspect it and apply those standards to it to see if all the priority ones or whatever are gone. That's all we can do.
Gotcha. And as we have heard, he is not certified, so he wouldn't be able to bring it up to standard and be able to meet the actual standard that we talked about and the manual that we posted online.
No, he couldn't.
For instance, you got one of those gorilla or rainbow systems you see in some city parks where the wooden swing sets hooked to the playground equipment. There's a lot of HOAs that have it. Those aren't ASTM or IPEMA certified either, but we go out and inspect them begrudgingly because we don't like the units because they're not really up to snuff. So all we can do is apply the standards and the guidelines to that piece of equipment. Whether he's IPEMA certified or whether he's ASTM standard, if you guys as a committee agree that to let him try and he goes out and does his work to it, follows our report, we'll go out and retest it to see if it passes the test on ASTM and CPSC guidelines. But again, this is a tough spot you guys are in. It really is, and I'm sorry you're here. But with that being said, all we can do is, if you guys decide to have him try, he can go out and try it. And then we can go out and apply the rules and regulations to it to see how it looks when he's done. He's got a report that he can follow from us to make it compliant to ASTM. But again, it goes back where he's not certified, insured, or, could he? Yes. Could we apply it? Yes. Is it going to cover you guys in the future? No. You guys still got a liability issue.
Dustin, do you have anything to add to that?
No, what he said was pretty much exactly what I would say. I mean, he can fix everything out there, but it's still gonna fall back on you guys at the end of the day if he's not certified to do the work initially. He can fix it, we can go in and inspect it again to see if it comes up to code. But
If your city attorney's sitting there, or anybody from legal counsel, we all know this. You guys have been through this before, and we've been through it. So he brings it up to somewhat compliance, and a kid falls out of that and gets hurt. The first thing he does is to spread the claim against everybody. The city, we're going to get hit. He's going to get hit. Our insurance binders are going to be going after. Will he be able to cover it? No. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
Okay, Cole, I have a question for you. We now have 2 independent reports from 2 different certified playground safety inspectors. Both of them say it's non-compliant, it needs to be removed. What is the liability to the district if we ignore those and substitute our own judgment?
I think if you left the structure, you are indicating to the district that you are aware of priority 1 and priority 2 problems. You're aware that the structure is not built to ASTM standards. You have written reports telling you all that the same thing. So essentially it would be negligence. So if someone were to get injured, you would be open to lawsuits.
Make your motion.
I'm ready to make a
Yeah,
motion.
and I would like to also mention the fact, and I know this is, 50,000 is a lot of money, but if somebody were to file a lawsuit, we could,
Or
If a child died.
Yeah, it's a child.
That makes me so angry about
Make
this,
your
I'm
motion.
sorry, I'm not supposed to speak.
You're not
But
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know why
yeah, you're not,
somebody's
you're not
Ma'am,
supposed to
please.
speak, yeah.
I just, before you make a motion, I just want to put my 2 cents into this. I think, like I stated in previous board meetings, I think that the Parks Committee that was on there prior to me and Kelly, it was a very personal thing to them. They wanted something different, they wanted something special to put their name on. And I think they disregarded everything except that. Their goal was to make a beautiful, and it's awesome. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's so cool. If I had it in my backyard, I'd be the place to go to for all my nieces and nephews. But I think it was more of a personal agenda, and this is who they wanted, and they didn't do their due diligence to find out exactly what needed to be done.
I do not agree with you, because if you
Ernie,
look at
I'll
the
be
meetings,
Kenzie
give me
with
one
you.
second.
But I'm talking, so when I'm
Well,
done, you can.
It's an
What I'm
opinion.
saying is,
It's
it
my
was,
opinion.
I know it is your opinion, but this was a full board vote that voted unanimously to build this park. So let's go ahead and move on, go ahead and submit your motion, and let's move on.
I'd like to finish speaking my 2 cents, you're
Go ahead and move, I think you've spoken already, so go ahead and submit your motion, please.
And so.
Go ahead and submit your motion. You have spoken already.
And you didn't like what I have to say, so now you're dismissing. It takes a full board.
It does
Ask
not,
the-
it does not
ask
matter,
everybody.
it does not matter, it doesn't matter. We're moving forward to do a
Can I
motion,
finish
and
my
let's
statement?
move
Can I
on.
have 3 hands to finish my statement?
Sure, who wants to?
There we go, 3, democracy, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it was a personal agenda that somebody had promised, this is what we're gonna do to the community. I think there's been a lot of people, I think there's been people spreading bad news to the community and saying that they're bad guys here. We're all here for the safety of the children, okay? We're not here to have personal vendettas against people. We're not here to, but we're here to protect the children. We're here to protect the tax dollars of the people, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the best decision, so we're not open to any lawsuits, and we're protecting the district. That's our main focus, protect the district. And I think people take it too personally, where it's an attack against them, or, this person doesn't like that person. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the children and our tax dollars. So that's it, thank you.
All right, can you go ahead and submit your motion, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I would like to read into the record Dustin's email recommendation, his written recommendation on the structure. As requested, Park Protect inspected and assessed Sunchase Park. During our initial inspection, we had hoped to find a route that would allow the playground to stay on site. After we assessed the playground and completed our inspection, we came to the conclusion that the entire playground goes against the current ASTM and CPSC standards. Any alterations or changes to try to address the plethora of issues would only further the non-compliant nature of the playground. The cost to address the issues would far exceed what it would take to remove and replace the unit. This does not take into account the liability that would be associated with altering a playground such as this, which does not seem to meet any of the ASTM standards set forth to protect children at play. It is our professional judgment that this playground remained closed until it can be removed. You verify that?
Yes, ma'am.
This statement is a stunning indictment of the structure and by extension, the process that led to its purchase. The structure was purchased with $50,000 of taxpayer money. Everyone in this room, mostly, had their money spent on this. The fact that I'm about to make this motion to remove it is a travesty. I think one of our public members spoke on that early. She used the word travesty. It's important to remember the waste isn't happening right now. The waste happened last year when this purchase was approved. In the pursuit of something unique from one specific vendor, due diligence was ignored, laws were overlooked, corners were cut, other bids were never even seriously considered, and the solemn duty of spending taxpayer money was treated with careless disregard. The emails between the former board member and the contractor are in tonight's board packet for the public's information and to head off the inevitable Public Information Act requests that will stem from this action. Now this community is left with a hazardous structure that does not in any way comply with state law. It's been deemed unfit for commercial use by 2 certified playground safety inspectors. Contrary to a widespread rumor, its hazards are irreparable. I will say that again, its hazards are irreparable. It cannot be fixed. It must be removed for the safety of your children and our children, every child who plays in our parks, and the liability of the district if we were to disregard the professional advice of 2 experts. This is not a board member dispute, and I'm having a hard time even understanding why a member of this board would spread that disagreement. I have emails to prove this is nothing except based on the facts of what 2 experts have told us. I have no personal stake in the Sunchase Park. I only know what the experts tell me. We paid for 2 expert opinions and I am listening to them.
And what you wrote in there is a lie. Because Mackenzie and I.
Can we stop?
We
Let
have a
her
lot of
submit
other
the motion
choices that
and
we
let's
had.
move on.
$50,000 has already been wasted. That happened last year. We can't change it. It's the duty of this board to remedy the situation as efficiently as possible and replace the structure with a safe and fun playground that complies with all state safety and accessibility regulations. Our kids in our district deserve it. I move that we instruct Mackenzie to accept the $6,500 bid of Park Protect to remove the non-compliant equipment in Sunchase Park.
I'll second that motion.
So 6,500, you said?
Yes.
But how can that be written out when it's not true as a motion? We had lots of other things that we had to
The
choose from.
motion is to accept Park Protect's bid of 6,500 to remove the Sunchase
Have
playscape.
we gotten any other bids besides?
We did. We did get one and it was higher.
It was higher, okay. All right. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
David, second. I'd like to make a comment.
Okay, so let's make a comment, and we're going to start discussion. Do you want to start? You want to go ahead and, you're done?
I'm done.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. In the past few days, the board has received several emails from residents wanting us to save the treehouse at Sunchase Park. There have been 2 safety inspections performed by 2 separate certified playground inspectors, and both have come to the same conclusion. The playscape design is such that it could lead to a child's death or loss of a limb. not a skinned knee or a bruised shin, death or a loss of a limb. I have to be able to lay my head on the pillow each night, and my obligation in this situation is to cast my vote in favor of removing the structure in order to protect the life and limb of the littlest humans that play in this park and every other park in this district. It goes beyond liability. It goes to a moral and ethical obligation to protect the most vulnerable. Not unlike those that have taken the time to read the reports and recommendations from the inspectors, I too am sickened by the epic failure of the treehouse in Sunchase Park. The committees that selected this vendor in Treehouse failed to consider in their selection of a vendor or the structure safety. That mistake will cost the district in excess of $50,000 with little or no hope of recouping the money. There was no contract or promise to build one to any safety standards. I am confident that Kelly and David will find a replacement playscape that is equally as cool looking in that space, but will meet all of the safety standards required by law. And we can all sleep soundly at night knowing that what lands in that park is above all else safe for children to play on. And there were some lessons learned from this adventure that I'd like to point out. Never pay for goods or services prior to receiving them. That was a mistake made by this board when we paid for that structure in October, long before it was ever delivered. We should have never done that. Follow the ASTM safety standards for parks when maintaining or updating them. That guarantees safety. Only hire playscape manufacturers that are ASTM certified. That will ensure a product that is built with safety as a priority. And hire the services of a qualified landscape architect to design or modify our parks. They are the professionals that are licensed to create safe public play spaces. Thank you, Emma.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Okay, I do want to make a comment here that we do have two board members here that voted, okay? I want to make it very clear that this wasn't only a committee issue. This was a full board decision of the prior board. And you voted in favor of installing this park, and you voted in favor of installing a park. So I just want to make that very clear. And I don't think this was a good decision, and I agree with you. I agree with what you just stated there. I mean, I'm ready to vote to bring this thing down. That's all I have to say. Okay.
I don't have anything else to say except I think attacking for not having other ideas. We showed it up on the screen. Mackenzie did lots of work for this to work. And yes, he would have been able to fix a lot of it, but what he said at the end is because it was made personal, that it's not going to go through. But I think it's really sad how this whole thing has been handled. I still think when you have a problem, you go straight to the source. You do not go behind people's backs, ever. And that's what made this thing so much worse than what it's been. And it's unfortunate for everybody, especially all these kids. And there are probably 3 or 4 daycare directors in this neighborhood that know that they have things in their own backyard that was built and that they're not park related, that it could be fixed and done. And I hate to see that everybody's just giving up. And yes, there is ways to make it safe. It is going to cost the district. It's going to cost us whichever way we go. A whole new playscape is going to cost us thousands of dollars again. It also would cost thousands of dollars to get this right because of the way he was treated. He probably would have done it for free.
All right. Is that it?
Yes.
All right, let's move forward to vote. All in favor? Okay, treehouse going down.
So can Dustin and Rod make the grand exit?
They can. Thank you for both.
Thank you so
We're
much.
looking forward to your
Thank you.
proposal for maintenance.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Rod. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lane.
All right, thank you.
Bye, Dustin.
Thank
Be safe when
you.
you drive home. Thank you.
Take care. All right, so moving on
Are we going to
to,
go back up?
back up to 6B, weed restriction.
Number
Correct?
5.
No,
We already did.
5 is done.
Six.
The
No, we
manager's
did not
report.
do the water restrictions for our neighborhood, which we desperately need to talk about.
That was part of the manager's report.
I
You
think it
wanna-
was just included under mine, but I think Cole put that there.
Yeah, we put that there, water restriction, we put on with the operator.
And he confirmed with me ahead of time that, you all follow Cedar Parks. You do have a DCP, I believe Zach sent it over when he was in the district's attorney seat. I get direct notifications from Nanette McCartan, I believe is her name, with the city of Cedar Park. She is the utility program manager. She lets me know ahead of any of their DCP changes when they're getting ready to take place, so we can push forward any of the district changes needed. So we did put notice on the district's website of the new stage change, as well as put the sign out as well, to reference back to the website. To my knowledge, it's all you need to do as of right now, and I have let the city of Cedar Park know that you all have taken those measures and they're good to go with that.
Are you gonna be putting on the website what stage you're at?
I think it is on the website.
Is the roller sign out?
It's in Anderson now right now, and it's also being put on our building.
We put a little blurb on the back of the bills.
Thank you.
I know lots of people still running their water. So is it a rumor that they're gonna get charged so much water if they use it after a certain date? Is that gonna affect us as well, or is that a rumor?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
There's a rumor going around that you're gonna get charged like $90 a gallon after September.
If that's something the city of Cedar Park is doing, it wouldn't affect our residences because we're a wholesale customer of the city of Cedar Park. We dictate what we charge our residents. The city of Cedar Park doesn't have direct meter reads for your district to know who would be using what to add a surcharge. A lot of districts that I do have that are in much further drought stages are attempting to potentially charge surcharges. They're also getting fine violations. This is the majority of the districts that I have down south though. They're in stage 4 thanks to the WTCMUD1, so that's a little different.
And
But-
Cedar Park does do tiered billing.
Yes.
If you exceed a certain limit, you'll pay higher rates.
No different than you. Y'all have a tiered billing system as well, but it doesn't match the city of Cedar Parks. But the district itself is a wholesale customer of the city of Cedar Park. So it's not, they can't come and say, David, you used 10,000 gallons, $90. They don't have that information to charge you guys.
Just had to ask it.
No worries. I hadn't heard that, so.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
6B now.
6B, Deed Restriction Committee. All right, so we have some updating to do. Kelly, do you want to, or do you want me to start on the issue with the resident that we talked about, or do you want to go ahead and talk about the resolution?
So, I didn't hear back from you on the draft I
Mhm.
sent, and so I did not upload that into the packet.
Oh, it is uploaded there,
Oh, is
because
it?
I read it and it's uploaded in there.
Did you like it?
Where is it?
I
I know that.
really liked it.
It's not in the board
I
packet.
think it's to the point where we can, I mean, I would like to see feedback from the board. But
Okay.
But it's
you
not in
didn't
the
upload it
board
in the, I have it here. I think
Look in
Hold
the,
on a minute.
look in the board packet, it's not in there.
What number is it?
6B,
I
see
read it.
6 and I see 6E, but I don't see a 6B.
I don't see.
Okay, I read it, made the
In paper?
notes in paper. And I thought I had actually printed from the actual drive, but I think I might have done it from the email.
Okay,
So,
think
I don't know if you want to talk about it, we can push it to the next meeting,
We
or,
can talk about some general ideas from it,
Yeah, that's no problem.
but if everyone doesn't have the document and didn't have a chance
know,
to
I
read it
know.
beforehand.
I think we
you
can
didn't
leave it up
tell
to the
me.
next meeting.
Can you email me that whenever you get a chance to? Like,
Yeah.
Put it
Thank
to the
you.
Google Drive.
Okay.
I mean, I can send it, and if somebody can upload it to the Google Drive,
If you send it to me.
I'm fine with it. I think it should be, at this point in time, I think we ought to have some feedback from the board in general.
We'd like to read it first.
Yes.
But yeah, we can upload it and then have it for next meeting.
Well, I've talked enough tonight, and I will let you lay this
Okay,
one out.
all right. Okay, so I guess we'll leave that up to next week.
Okay.
Because it's.
We could do it at the next meeting if you'd rather. Give me a
have-
chance to read
Yeah,
it.
next
Do
week.
we have anything that's gone out new? Because I know we have some houses that really need some attention.
The what?
Like off Old Mill, there's a major one that's got motorcycles and tables and paint and.
Well, I want to bring up the issue at Blazing Star that you and I talked about. Same activities going on. Now we have about 11 cars parked in there.
The homeless camp in the backyard.
There's still painting, noises, very loud noises. So I'm assuming that they did receive the first notice. And so the question is, where do we go from here?
We have, the rules that are online are the ones we have to follow until they change. So stage 2, step 2 would be a second notice. The first one was a friendly.
Correct.
And now they're gonna get a first notice to correct. Since we don't have a contractor, you'll have to rely on Cole to send that.
Sure.
So Cole, could you adjust the tone accordingly?
Yeah.
Thank you.
A
First
little bit more
notice.
tense.
Yeah.
And we're sending it to the homeowner and
Correct.
The renter.
The renter.
The renter,
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did the same thing on the first round.
And are we doing it certified mail, so we have document that?
We're gonna do
they-
certified and regular.
Okay.
So we'll do both.
Did you get certified back?
We never did.
I'll
confirm with our front desk, but we never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I'll
still
confirm.
repairing cars, unregistered vehicles on the street, neighbors complaining, sending
Is
videos.
that Old Mill?
Oh, did she say Old Mill?
Yeah, so,
You know
but
what y'all remember?
we're talking about Blazing Star.
Blazing Star, yeah.
I was talking about, is there anything that's sent out to the one off of Old Mill? It's right off the main road, you can't miss it.
Yeah, we've received notice on an email on that one, but I don't know if Kelly, it's okay. You want to state the property you're
Yeah.
talking about again?
I can't remember, it's the corner house off of Old Mill, you can't miss it when you're going down Old Mill.
Old Mill and Beach Nuts.
Yeah, it's really
So I
bad.
haven't received a complaint
Yeah.
outside of right now. But if we get the address, then we can send a notice.
We've also
And you've gotten
received a
complaints.
complaint about the same
Well, I got the
resident that we
report,
discussed
but-
about.
And you've been sent
Yeah.
pictures, because I was sent pictures and I forwarded them.
We got it yesterday, we did like Friday.
Can you
Uh,
forward
what's-
that to the board,
Yes.
so we can have that too? She's
I'm a
saying
little
they got a
confused.
complaint on Birch.
So we have,
I-
first we were talking about Blazing Star, now we're talking about Old Mill, now we're talking about Birch. So if we
So-
can just,
Blazing Star,
Blazing Star,
Blazing
handle
Star
that,
is in
then we'll
step
move
2.
forward.
I agree. So
Blazing
let's
Star
do
is in
Blazing
step
Star.
2. Cole can
And
handle
so
that.
I move that we send the second notice as per our current standing resolution to the owners of the property as well as the tenant.
We'll do. Thank you.
A second.
Okay, we have a second. Huh? All in favor? Okay,
Thank you.
motion passes. Okay, now, should we go to Burge for your complaint?
Yeah, what street? It's Lewis.
Should we go to Burge or what do we agree here?
I haven't seen the complaint
David?
on Birch, they've
What's the
seen it.
street?
You're his friend, I don't know.
Okay, so tell me what's the street and the,
Here, give me a minute, can I use my phone?
It's Beach Nut.
It's on the corner of Beach Nut.
okay.
We need the address.
You should have that in an email.
Don't say it out loud.
Well, but we need it.
Yeah, no, correct, I'm just saying,
It should be in it.
we can update Cole with that later.
And they have already been through all the stages. I have old letters that were sent by the previous contractor to that house. So I don't know what stage they'd be in, probably litigation at this point, as often as they have been cited for the same violation. As a matter of fact, Mackenzie, or Stephanie rather,
You can
would
see
you
it
pull
now.
me a,
History ledger,
yes, please, I wanna see how many times they've been fined for this,
for the
because,
life of the account, or how long?
give me 5 years. Give me a 5-year look.
Okay, but, okay. Correct, but that's why we need to go further back. Will you send her an address for the exact home so we can pull it for the correct home?
Beth, I don't see anything.
Because,
Yeah,
Cole,
the
that would
picture.
change your next move with that
Yeah.
property if they've already been through step 1, step 2.
Right. Yeah, if I could have that sent to me.
And I'll pull letters for
Okay,
it.
When did
thank
you
you.
send
Just email it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Been a month and a half, probably. Somebody sent it to me and I sent it on to you.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are you ready for me to move on to the complaint about Birch? I don't
Yes,
want to
because
cause more
We
confusion.
can't do
Yeah, I think
anything
we'll
on this
revisit
one.
on this one. We'll
We
revisit
can't
on
do
this
any,
one.
I'm gonna send him their history.
Gotcha.
And then he'll know what step stage they're in this process of getting letters. And then he can figure out what to do.
All right. Birch.
What is the complaint on Birch?
Unsightly things, like trash, a lot of people in and out, things in the front yard, in the driveway, what I would consider them normal.
As I responded several weeks ago and copied all of you on, we are already in litigation over deed restriction issues with this property. That is the strongest tool at our disposal. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that we've deployed it and it doesn't seem to have any effect. So that we're back in the position that we've been in.
But in last month's meeting, we asked Cole to look at other alternatives to getting
Correct.
his family help.
So I spoke with I called the City of Cedar Park, City of Cedar Park's Health Department for a recommendation. They have 2 inspectors who tend to go to the houses. They, of course, kicked me to the City of Cedar Park's attorney. I spoke with her. She stated that the city does not have the authority to go in and inspect and essentially determine or do anything to the house. It has to be, the permission has to be granted. So the city is not able to help with that. She did say if I send her an address, she'll ask one of the inspectors if he or she has some free, they only have 2, if they have some free time to drive by and just comment on it. So I'll do that, but they said the city cannot take any action on that. The county also does not have a health code, or what I was told when I spoke with the county is that they don't have a department that specializes in going and looking at homes for health and safety or hazards. So the option, and I again talked about this with the city attorney, is the court-appointed guardianship. That application that we discussed at the last meeting. Linda was kind enough to help fill that out, so I do have that. I think based on the conversation that we had, is we wanted to exhaust all options before we went down that path of kind of starting some sort of legal wheels turning. And so I've spoken with the county, I've spoken with the city, I don't see any options there. So really it's up to you all on what you want to do next.
Is there anything that we can do? Because I'm being told that there's homeless people living in the backyard at night.
Has anyone called Department of, or the DFPS? Because
Department of Aging?
Because the reason I ask is, last year, when we were having a lot of issues, a woman contacted me on behalf of a resident who was there to help her pay her water bill, to figure out what she needed to do to get it turned back on. I can try to search my records and see if I still have an email from
I know
her.
who she is.
And have you contacted her?
She's no longer involved in that.
But
She was not with the Department of
Okay,
Health.
okay, I wasn't
No,
sure.
she was just
She
a
just-
kind soul who lives across 620.
Okay. See, I wasn't aware if that would be an avenue we could have pursued.
The Department of Aging did go out there and the homeowner declined their services.
So guardianship is not an option? You just-
Well, I don't know if
No, we would have to submit the application for court-appointed guardianship.
Guardianship.
So I have not submitted that application yet. We wanted to exhaust all other options that we had available before you all go down that path. I also think it'd be wise for the board to vote on that because it's going to be a director's name on behalf of the 5 directors who are kind of wanting to push this through.
What do we do? It's been so long. The neighbors have been so patient. I mean, years.
Well, if I were the neighbors, I would be calling the police hourly and telling them what's going on and having that happen. I mean, the power is in those neighbors' hands in this case.
So, the residents still have the option to take this to civil court, couldn't they?
Yes.
Take it to civil. And would that be quicker than us continuing through litigation to get on the docket? Do you think that would be a quicker route to get this problem resolved?
I'm not sure. I don't know how quick that would be. I mean, we can, I mean, again, since we got the files from McGinnis Lockridge, we've essentially been on, we haven't done anything with the litigation other than substituting counsel and the non-suit that you all voted on last month. Other than that, we have not done, oh, and the remedy with the other resident who had the registration sticker. So we have not done anything with that. So I mean, you can, I can talk with Natalie and we can see about ramping up that litigation and hitting it hard to see what that would do. But I really can't predict what would be more timely.
I think that we've held back from moving this thing forward, that it's not even on the docket. I think if it gets on the docket and there's a date that is the only way we're gonna move the ball forward, or we encourage the residents that have the grievance that are affected by this situation to go through civil court. I don't know if the board would be willing to kind of educate the residents on how to go about this, with possibly Cole kind of drafting something on steps they would have to take to help them out, or do we just move, because it'd be a lot cheaper for the district to have them initiate that civil litigation, to take them to civil court. It'd be cheaper for the district, and we need to encourage our residents to empower themselves into taking action for themselves. It's, to me, I'm a believer that government shouldn't always be there to do things for you, that people need to take the initiative themselves to get things done. So it's just kind of where I'm sitting. But if we don't encourage them to do it civilly, I think pushing that litigation forward is how to resolve this situation, because it has been going on for too long, and it seems like the problem has come back, that it's getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse.
And we'll
Do you
say,
think a small claim court will have jurisdiction over this kind of matter, or it would have to be maybe district court?
Probably be district, but I don't know if it would be small claims. Yeah.
Because even if they didn't abide by,
I would have to see what I would have to see what small claims covers to see. I mean, those deed restrictions typically go into civil. I mean, it could be a quick process with that. I don't know what the result would be.
I've seen it.
breach
I
of
think the
contract.
district will be a monster to navigate for any resident.
Yeah,
You would
yeah.
have to-
I mean,
District
I
court
think
is
you
a-
could have residents could join the district's lawsuit if you wanted to do that. I mean, they're probably not going to pay for that, but if you have a lawsuit where there are multiple residents requesting to be named on it, I don't know if they would want to do that. I mean, it might show that it's a more important case than just one district going after a resident.
And remind us.
Or they could write letters in support of the litigation, highlighting the problems, and we could introduce those to the court.
and you have some of those, correct?
I would have to go back and see in those files.
Because I have gotten a phone call that people are super upset that we don't have Sage anymore, and as the
Well,
past.
anything that, I don't know, we haven't received anything, there's nothing in court records from the time that we've taken over. So whatever was, that McGinnis had put in, that's all that's been done.
Here's my question though. We need to help our residents understand that, are they gonna have to start taking care of this now? Even though when we buy a house, it is written in the papers that we are taking care of the deeds. That it is in there that we do that. It's part of what they're paying their taxes for. So if we're not gonna do that anymore, we need to let our residents know.
We're in
That's-
litigation.
Well, yeah, we are taking care of trying.
I was gonna say, on that house.
So what
has been
process
hopeless.
in the litigation are we in? Are we,
I'd have to go back and see. I mean,
How
I've been at a standstill for 8 months. So.
In February, after Zach Evans was released, they came up on the docket and you wrote a letter to pend that action until we had a new attorney. So it did make its way onto a docket, and then McGinnis, Andrew Edge,
Right.
sent something to the courts to hold it, not dismiss it,
Right.
but to hold it because we were waiting
Right.
on a new attorney. So that's where, as far as it's gotten. And maybe it is time. I mean, I hate the idea of it so much.
I mean, if you all wanted to go down that path, you could do, I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, I think it was at the stage where they're gonna file for summary judgment.
Yes.
it's very right, and I
Yes,
think
that's
that is
exactly
accurate.
where
I
it
think that's
was.
where it was. And if that's the case and they don't show up, then we might have a ruling,
Potentially,
which we
yes.
could potentially act on. You know
I mean,
what
I think if you wanted to go down that path, you could do, authorize us, our office, to move forward with the litigation of a not to exceed amount if it ever hits that. I mean, again, at this point, it's just kind of drafting some stuff. There's no appearances or anything that need to be had now, but we could keep you all, kind of have a, you know, like, you all don't have developers here, but like a developer deposit. We'll just say 10,000, and every month when you get an invoice, it'll, you know, $600 taken off here, filing fee here, and you'll see how the process is going, how much money is being spent with it. That way we can try and do it, and that way you all feel cost conscious in terms of kind of, for lack of better words, letting it rip on this case. That's up to you all.
Again, so let's just play it out. Let's just assume that we get in front of a judge, and of course, they don't have representation, and they won't show up, and then the judge rules in our favor, and then issues an order. They have to clean it up, and they don't. Then what happens? Then what happens?
You have to go back to the court.
What happens, folks?
Regardless, you all are going to be spending money fighting that, yeah. I mean,
If they don't clean it up, with the judges ordering them to do so, then what happens next?
there's probably multiple options of things that could happen, and I don't know.
You don't
That
know.
would be up to the litigator, would know better.
Yeah, our litigator might, but it would also be up to the judge. I mean, the judge might say, I think this person needs to seek counseling, or, you know, might need a court-appointed guardian. I mean, there's a lot of avenues. I mean, in this case, it seems like it's a really, you know, the way I look at it is litigation in terms of HOA and deed restrictions. It's a tool because people don't want to fight them, so they do whatever the complaint is about in order to avoid paying those litigation costs. In this case, that doesn't seem to be an issue with this resident. But again, we haven't gotten to a point where there's any ruling, or it's a motion pending.
Plaintiff.
Well, if there, you know, and of course, if there is no outcome that resolves the problem, then spending money on litigation is a waste. It's just a waste. I have an idea. How about this? How about that ACC group go clean that up, and then the ACC can bill them for cleaning it up? It's in the deed. It's in your deed.
But guess who got rid of them? And made sure that all their money was lost. Thousands and almost 300,000.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but that's not
You do.
unusual. So, my point is this. How about we get whoever wants to play ACC this week to go clean it up, and then they can bill them back. That's written right in the deed. The ACC can, because you know what? It's an unsightly charge, which means we have to have something in writing from the ACC that deems it unsightly. And the deed allows the ACC to step on anyone's property and take care of these problems and bill them back for it. It's written right in the deed. I'm sure the ACC has some good lawyers that are going to help them through that. I'm just certain of it.
And then you'll sue them again.
I didn't see the ACC.
That's,
Point of order? There's no
Point of
right.
order, yeah. Thank goodness.
Makes you feel good.
Why do I even
Helps you
bother?
sleep at night.
So Birch Lane, I'm standing pat. What do you all want to do with the application for court-ordered guardian? Do you want us to submit that application?
Yes, I would say yes, because we gotta have somebody.
I filled it out, but you need to sign it. Okay, I did fill it out for him.
Do you have the paper copy?
I do, but not with me, but I can get it to
Okay,
him.
perfect. And then if you
Like
could
now-
just scan it.
We would have to, because I've answered the email, you've asked me if I wanted to fill out the form, and I said, you know, I'll leave it up to council to do that. Do we have to have a full vote to commit to submitting an application?
I think that would be the best thing, because we've seen decisions made, and then in every district, a decision gets made, and then years later, people say, well, why did we do this? And it's good to have a binding, or it's good to have the full board vote on that.
Okay, so I guess guardianship, and of course, that's not, I mean, they can send a court-appointed person to do an investigation. If the person is not, passes the test, then we're back again to the same place.
It doesn't cost us anything to do.
Yeah, well,
it.
we can try it, I mean,
You want
for
me to make a
sure.
motion?
I mean, and at the very least, you'll have someone with the report who's taking a look at everything, saying,
Exactly.
there's someone else who needs to go in here and do
And-
this, here's a
And
card.
Hanoi, if it's a little bit more palatable, this woman was in desperate need of some help. The first time around, the situation that made her want help is back,
Okay.
and we might just be saving her.
Now, has anybody made an APS report, Adult Protective Services? Because sometimes Adult Protective Services will visit, and if they find that, then they'll initiate the guardianship processes a lot faster. So has anybody contacted APS?
Not this go-round. They have been contacted in the past, and again, she denied their services.
Denied the services.
And this round that Cole has suggested, or that we have discussed, is, it's not a choice.
It's not voluntary.
It's not voluntary. You have to submit to their testing and to see if you are capable of living a healthy life.
All right.
It's a drastic measure, which is why I didn't sign it. It's a drastic measure.
Oh, I know. We get right to vote, room, driver license, everything, so it's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
It's pretty
This
bad.
is also a district safety problem
Yeah.
with previous things that have happened at this residence.
Yeah.
And if,
Regarding to water.
correct,
Right.
that's what I'm
Like
saying,
yeah,
it's a
right.
utility safety problem. So just keep that in mind as far as the problem that is now back being there, that caused the problem in the past. And the fact that they currently are shut off, and that's what triggered it before.
Are they tapping into the water right now?
Not that we're aware of, we've been checking, we're gonna continue to check and deal with it as it is. It's a sticky situation,
Yeah.
including
My
being law
concern
enforcement
is
involved.
how many people are living there right now.
Okay, so I move that, that we go ahead and submit the guardianship form to the appropriate authorities in county, Williamson County. I don't think we can disclose the name, right?
Mm-mm.
No, okay. For the resident in question. Is that clear?
That's clear.
Okay, do we have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, we have a second. Do we need more discussion? No? Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand. All right, so we will send guardianship.
I will bring those papers to you to sign.
Okay.
Can I circle back on one thing? We didn't really talk about it in greater length than what it was mentioned. The swing repairs for the swings here in Andersonville West that were included in the manager's packet. Did you guys want to move forward with those? The ones that Rod kind of showed you all the components that they'd be looking at changing out. It's $4,135 to do all 15 of them.
I thought we agreed on that.
We didn't vote on it. It was mentioned. That's why I wanted to circle back because you're going to need to want a board vote to get them to move forward. And sorry to interrupt, but I
I
didn't
move
want
we
to.
approve the bid from Park Protect.
It's and both of them are in the packet now, so y'all can go in and look. They're on the
So
whole
it's,
report.
so it's not 34.49,
No,
it's
it's not.
40.
It's 4,135. I don't know where I got that.
Okay, all right, sorry. I just want to
Sorry,
make sure I
my
get
brain.
this motion down.
Did not remember that one.
I'll second that, Paul.
Oh, Kelly did.
Yeah.
Yep.
All in favor?
All in favor?
I'll let them know. I just didn't want to continue and keep forgetting.
Okay, all right.
So we're getting bids from them on
Which is-
replenishing the mulch.
Mhm. I have that notated as well. I also foresee that as we look through the park inspections, they're gonna provide bids for everything else that they find. I'm sure it'll be a slow trickling process, but
So are we gonna have, our new land people do the surfacing? Fill
they're
in
not,
everything back in?
no. So Scott's never, to my knowledge, done that before. I'm not sure what you're referring
Yeah,
to.
we did, we took it all out of, from the back of the park, that was all filled back there.
That was crushed granite. That's not chipped wood cover. What you're referring to is at the back of Andersonville West Park in the cart corral area. That was crushed granite for the crushed granite trail. This is a completely separate
And then we
area.
had to bring some in over here too.
It's not chipped wood. That was not chipped wood. That's a completely different substrate.
Okay.
So the chipped wood is always done, since I've been on board with you guys, by T.F. Harper. That's who we'd gotten proposals from in the past, and when we did them, I think it was 2 years ago, in that budget, we then did it on an every other year basis, and we kind of included some inflation in the prices in there. I'm not sure if your current proposed budget has it, I haven't taken a look yet. But
Are they
yeah,
gonna let us keep the blue mats, or are they gonna take those out?
the blue mats.
Over in Andersonville?
Are you talking about the PIP, the pour in place? That's not going anywhere, but there's chipped wood around that need, and there's actually several patches that need to take place. The unfortunate part is that stuff is extremely, extremely expensive to patch, and you can't just buy a kit for the one patch, it's a kit for a whole area. The entire thing has to be taken up. It's a
Which we
very
did a little
lengthy
bit of
repair
that,
process. The
but it
problem
didn't-
is that kids love to chip away at it because it's fun to peel off and it looks like little beads. So I did talk to Dustin about that briefly, and there are several places that are gonna need patches done. They're gonna look at providing quotes for those. This would be strictly for the chipped wood fibers that are needed, which is not what Scott's ever done, so we would not look to Landcare to do that. We wanted to do it from a certified vendor like TF Harper, Fundabounds, Park Protec, someone of that nature. So I think as of right now, Park Protec's gonna give you a bid. Have a feeling they're gonna be lower than most everyone else, but I'm still gonna ask TF Harper in front of bounds. I don't know that I'll get anything back by your next meeting. They're extremely slow in getting estimates out currently.
From what I've learned so far, the ASTM actually has standards for the engineered wood fiber, the.
To be a
the
certain
pieces of it
diameter,
have to be
length,
certain- Yeah,
all
so
of that.
can't just be regular old mulch, it
Correct.
has to meet certain standards, and that's
It
why.
has to be done through a certain chipper,
And that's
actually.
It does.
why we wanna go through the certified
Vendors,
vendor.
correct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it becomes a really big trip hazard. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, we had a district ask us to put chipped mulch on their trails, and we had a lady fall the following week on a large piece that got caught in her stroller as she was pushing her child. So you have to be very careful with stuff like that.
So when I get the two different annual maintenance agreement, well, the annual maintenance and the quarterly, I'll send it to you all to review, hopefully in time.
He
for the
might
next
send it
meeting.
to me.
I'll definitely
He
send
did
it to
say
you.
he would.
Yeah.
If he sends it to me, either I can send it to all of them or
Perfect.
CC you. It doesn't matter. We'll get it out regardless.
Okay, so back to the agenda. 6C, we've already talked over. There was no committee meeting, and Herb gave us the input. I don't know if you want to bring something up on that.
No.
We didn't meet.
The only thing I'm concerned about, and Mackenzie, we touched on her management report, was the water that's coming out of those.
The inlets.
The inlets, yeah. But other than that, there's nothing more.
All right. Then Information Management Committee. Anything on that?
That's you and Ben.
No. Don't have anything on that. Budget Committee.
Yes, I do have something on that. And we missed you. I did meet with Christopher O'Toole, and we were looking at the tax rate, but of course that involves the budget, so out in this folder 6E, I put the table that he created to show that this year, if we apply the maximum tax rate that we can, which is 0.2881, our revenue growth for the year in taxes is a mere $3,510. That's it. That's the increase for the year. That will probably not cover the cost of living increases that most of our contractors have attached to their contracts. So we're already going to go into the budget cycle in a deficit. If you look at the table, you'll see that in the prior years, the budget, the tax revenue increased by $343,000, $247,000, and the smallest year was 2020 with only a $44,000 increase. This is going to be a very tight year. So I asked the financial advisor if there was any other way that we could generate revenue. And the only options that she knows of is increase the rates for water, increase the rates for sewer, or check with your council to see if there is any other fees that we could increase to generate more revenue. I'm not suggesting that we do anything like that. My first approach always would be to reduce expenses, which is the reason why the RFQ for her. If we can reduce expenses and live within the budget that 2.881 gives us, then we don't have to increase rates for anybody. So we know that this year we are going to net $2,420,683 in tax revenue. There is additional revenue that comes into the district, and if you look at Ashley's report, of course, she's basing everything, if it was like last year, there would be about a $5 million grand total revenue for the district. But we have very large expenses this year too with that lift station. So where we got with the budget is we looked at the setting the tax rate, Christopher and I, and we briefly looked over the budget items and where could we reduce overhead expenses and just take care of the needs of the district. When you look at the park inspections, we now are going to have to spend an enormous amount of money to bring the parks up to compliance. And that needs to be a priority because the parks are used every day. So the Parks Committee needs to, working with McKinsey and Stephanie, get estimates for what it's going to take to bring the parks into compliance, what we need to do there. We need to literally key that into the budget, and then we need to review the budget as a group and see, okay, where can we shave costs, like meeting meals. That's $2,400 we can knock off right there. We don't need to be provided meals. And that they haven't done that in about a year because I complained.
Please put that in the minutes.
I'd rather spend $2,400 on more mulch in a park
No, I'm just
than
giving you a hard time.
to feed, everybody in their family. So I have taken a quick pass through the budget. I truly have, and I have myself marked off things that I thought we didn't need to do, or we could defer to another year, and that kind of thing. And I will put it together, except Christopher O'Toole was very concerned that I do that work, and he felt that it needed to be done by the bookkeeper. So Ashley took a pass, and you'll see it in her bookkeeper's report, but she literally mimicked the 2023 budget. So I'm still going to have to go through and take cuts in there, but of course I will present them with explanation at the next meeting, and we'll set that budget. But what needs to happen between now and the next meeting is the committees like infrastructure and like parks, they're the biggest spenders, they need to get some numbers together on what we need to budget for in the coming year. We already know the lift station. And I'm getting closer to getting a total cost on what we've spent already and then what's left to spend to finish that project. So, and then we hope that we have no other failures of great magnitude because that we can't afford.
And what were some of the recommendations or observations to cut back on?
Some of the things that I noted was that's going to happen automatically anyways. That we're going to have money left over from 2023. We just don't know how much yet. As Artisan is continuing trying to onboard the records, they can't tell me how much is left in every budget category. But some of the things I thought that we would no longer need to spend on, for instance.
Sorry to interrupt, and this is on, in the bookkeeper?
No, it's agenda item 6E is the
Is
proposed
it in there?
budget. Is that what you're going
Yeah,
through?
Yes.
yeah. And there is an approved budget report for 2023. I have taken a pass at it. You're not going to see my pass on this. This is the approved budget for 2023. But what I have in front of me is my pass. For instance, restricted covenant legal fees, $70,000. Hopefully, we're not going to spend that. You're not going to see that in there. Engineering, $95,000. We shouldn't be spending that much for engineering services. Financial services, $30,000. That was Infomart. But Artisan is cheaper, so that's going to go down a little bit. Auditing services, we paid the auditor $16,500. They have resigned from this account. You weren't here, but it took them 6 months to get information from Infomark Accounting. They lost money on this job this year because they had to work so hard to get the information. But I understand there are other companies that will do it for less, so we're going to save a little there. The financial advisor, now that our bonds are paid off, we don't need a financial advisor. That's $2,500.
Just to jump in, you probably want to retain a financial advisor still to assist with the tax rate that you all adopt every year, because they do oftentimes run those calculations. They keep up with the tax side, or I'm sorry, the financial side of the tax rate and the laws. Most financial advisors are free because they make their money on bond sales. You all are in a position where you're not going to be issuing any bonds in the near future. So I don't know if there would be a financial advisor willing to assist in that, but if they would probably come on and just help with the tax rate discussion. And I always think it's right because I can almost guarantee you someone might ask me a question about the tax rate tonight, and I'm going to say that's not my specialty. I'm going to defer to your tax assessor and financial advisor.
Okay. So, but we may not have to spend as much because we no longer have bonds, so we can cut a little there. Permits, membership, and conferences, that's at $10,000. We don't need to spend that necessarily. Director's expenses, that's not the per diem fees of office, that's additional, that's $5,000, probably won't spend that. Record storage, we might look at that. If we do electronic records, we don't have to pay to store paper. Records requests, open records requests. That is budgeted at $35,000. I don't think that you have come close to that.
No, I do owe you an invoice for the past few months on that, but it's nowhere near that amount.
Yeah.
And I almost also, I'm looking at it as one, I'll email you my comments and I'll include Ashley, but I think it might be best to kind of include some of those into just the legal and leave it at legal instead of separate, unless you want to have those line items, but I have my numbers that I can adjust in here that I'm going to send you all.
Okay. Meeting expenses or website expenses was $8,000.
We didn't even touch these.
And that wasn't, yeah. So meeting meals, we canceled those. Miscellaneous is just $1,000. But if we're going to do the hazardous waste pickup at the door, we have to increase the trash service by $24,000. It's $1 per
Keep in
house per month.
Every time we've had an increase from Waste Management, that falls under your base services fee that gets applied to the resident's bill. We have not increased that in a very long time. And I understand you're not wanting to, but I think you're getting to a point, if you're not already there, where that doesn't even cover the cost of solid waste services.
It does cover the cost, and there's money left over. I've already put the pencil to that. And yes, it still generates revenue for us, not enough, but it does cover trash services. It's $16 and change if you're a senior, and it's $17 and change if you're
Does that include
not.
recycling?
Yes, all of it's in there. Yes, it is included. And like I said, if you're a senior, there's $5 and change left over of your $25 basic service fee. And it's $9 and something left over if you're not a senior. So
Keep in mind that that's also supposed to cover basic water and basic wastewater. Like, if someone's even just not home and they have some service run through, flushing a toilet, leaving a dishwasher on, it's supposed to cover that as well. So if you factor in the use of any water, any sewer, $9 doesn't get you very far. And my point is, you're still likely at a deficit.
I hear what you're saying, and when I look at my own water bill, I pay more in basic services, TCEQ, and firefighting than I pay for water. So increasing rates for our residents in something that's not even water it's a last resort. I'm not saying that we're going to be able to avoid it, but it needs to be a last resort. It's horrible when you pay a $70 water bill or an $80 water bill, and of that, $14 is water, and all the rest are fees. I don't know a whole lot of people who can absorb those kind of hits. So again, I'm not ruling it out. I'm saying I don't know that we're there yet. Another thing that I would like to bring up is we we pay $45,000 a year for the roving patrol. And I have found no benefits by having it. They have not discovered anything since the day we hired them. It's $45,000 we don't need to spend for 2 nights a week of driving through this neighborhood for 4 hours. We could reduce expenses by removing that.
So here's what I'm thinking. How do you ask, as a committee, what would be your recommendation? I think there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to be, as a board,
Oh, absolutely.
approve, and so, what do you propose that we have some sort of special meeting and hash this out
Yeah,
together?
I would love to do that.
And get it done?
Yep. But first, the committees have to submit to the budget committee,
Wish
that's you and I.
lists.
Yeah, what needs to be done. Don't give us your wishes, give us what needs to be done and how much it's gonna cost.
Still a wish.
So we can plug it in here,
Mhm.
then we meet as a board and we hash it out.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do that.
Let's put a deadline for wish list. I still call it a wish list
Okay.
because it's still not guaranteed. You might think it's a need and the board votes differently.
Linda, I have a question. That $5,000 for the board members, is that including that you would be removing their training once a year?
Training for what?
When they go to Corpus or South Conroe or wherever?
Oh, the conferences? No, that's a separate line item, but yes, I did suggest that go as well.
Because that's not fair to any of the board members, because have you been to a training yet?
That's not a training, that's a conference.
It is a
It is
conference,
a
but it's really
conference.
good.
Well, if
Unless
you
you've
want to
been,
get.
I don't think that you should put it down, because it's
Actually.
really very good.
Cole, when we set the tax rate, we have to have the budget first, right?
You have to set your budget. I mean, I think you all should have technically set, you don't have to have it first. It's probably a good idea to have it first so you can see what the numbers are. But in the case right now, you all have to publish your tax rate at tonight's meeting and then you adopt it in 3 weeks.
Okay.
So
So we need a meeting before the 3 weeks to
So
hash out the budget.
you have the revenue generated from your tax rate that was provided by your financial advisor. You know what those numbers are already, so now it would just be in the next 2.5 weeks, working with the bookkeeper and your committees to decide what are the line items that you need, what needs to be adjusted. And of course, all your consultants are gonna send in their comments as well to their individual numbers. So that's really, and we need to get on that to you quickly so you can get a meeting together.
Another thing too, committees keep in mind, if you're gonna ask for things that we don't have numbers for already, and you would like to have some form or fashion of a preliminary number, please let me know ASAP, because we're on a very strict timeline.
We need to have the committee and contractor input, consultant input by no later than the end of next week and then meet the following week.
So we're speaking the 4th through the 8th? Is that what we're
I
talking
need
about?
to look at the calendar.
I'm out a bit of that week.
When's our next meeting, Cole?
The 13th of September will be your 3-week meeting.
That's not the third Wednesday.
It's the
Oh, we have to
second
meet
half
the deadline
Correct,
for
that's 3
setting
weeks
the
from
tax
tonight.
rate. Okay, so we would need to meet on maybe the 6th of September to go over the budget.
I'm fine with that date, let's do it.
Monday 6th? Does that work for everybody? So Wednesday, 6th, yes. Cole, can
Does
you
that work for you?
make that happen? And we'll just keep it a very brief meeting only to discuss the budget. That way it won't go long and we can just get it done.
And consider a leak detection quote.
And consider a leak
I'm
detection.
sorry, I don't
That has
want you
to happen.
I know, I'm not, you said only to discuss the budget, and I was,
That has to happen.
So the agenda would be budget meeting and consider and approve.
quotes from leak detection
Can you,
quotes.
before we leave the meeting, let's do some.
Accurate and Stanco, because I've already asked both. I just gotta-
Yeah, I can be at that meeting if you all need me to be there. I'll be in Austin.
So what is the date that we're gonna pick for a wish list deadline?
By the
That-
end of next week, so by close of business Friday at 4 on the 1st. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
If y'all want to just avoid open records, if the committees want to send it to me, I will propose it over to the budget committee. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
So September 1st is give us your numbers, your wish list.
It'll all go to the committee either that day prior to or sometime right after if we get something at 4 o'clock on Friday. And then the budget committee will have at least 3 days to work that in before the meeting. And then do you want to, Linda, set it to where maybe we have the newest updated budget sent out noon on Wednesday to give everyone time to review it?
Yeah,
I know you're gonna have short timing.
I can have it ready by the 5th, and you can send it out on the morning of the 6th.
Okay.
And I'll just.
We'll just add it to the Google Drive, so can
Oh,
everybody
yeah, there you go.
keep in mind to check the Google Drive prior to the meeting to look at the budget?
And I'll get Ashley's.
I know, like Beth,
Yep.
y'all go with that?
Good.
Good.
Forward.
Okay, so that's what happened with the budget meeting, and what's in this packet material is the approved budget that we are operating on right now, and there is stuff we did not do, so I know there's money left over there, I just don't know how much.
And Ashley's supposed to get us that number.
She is desperately trying. I'm gonna pull some information from the audit system. They have an electronic P&L report out there, and she said if she could have that and plug that in, so I told her I'll try. If I still have access, I'll
If
get
you
it.
don't, let me know,
Okay,
I can get it.
so, okay, that's good with that agenda item.
Alrighty. Jumping on to old business, number 7.
We did it, that's Sunshine.
Chase Park's done, discuss district communication policy, that would be B, and we have a resolution adopting, no, that's a different one, okay. So discuss district communication policy. Anything on
We've
that?
been pushing that on.
This has been floating on agendas for the last, 3 meetings. And it involves communication policy violations and actions for them. Have you looked at them?
I have, I've read them, and I'm ready for discussion. Y'all wanna,
It's been sitting on this agenda way too long.
I know.
This-
I don't know that any of that information was moved over into tonight's board packet. I don't think so. I didn't.
Do you remember where it was?
It's on, go back to the last meeting and the one before it follows.
so my notes on that, on the meeting of the, June the 27th,
Okay.
we've agreed that I was gonna go back and review them. So I've done that.
Yeah.
I can discuss and talk about it.
Well, let me just say this. In your absence, we did discuss totally abolishing that policy because it has never been enforced. Not as written, for sure, not as written. And I just really think it's just a big waste of time, quite honestly. There are plenty enough complaints that all would require a response, an opportunity for the person being accused of violating the policy to have an opportunity to defend herself. But we could be sitting here for hours, and then in the end, what's the end result? The consequences for violating the policy are being removed from committees, removing your board title. Do we really need to do that?
That's a good question. I mean, I wanna hear from other directors. Kelly, you wanna give some input on that, or your thoughts?
Yeah, we've discussed this a couple of times at previous meetings. If it's not enforced and it's routinely skipped over and not addressed, and I believe Cole has said that none of his districts have a communications policy.
None of mine do. No, I checked with our firm. I think only one other attorney has one district that has a communications policy. And we represent.
And
Close to
a vote
400
of 3 on this board accomplishes anything with or without a communications policy. So I am in favor of just doing away with it and operating the way that the board did for the 25 years plus prior to that.
it's never been enforced, it has no teeth behind it, you know, it's not. Yeah, I'm okay with it. You see no problem with it.
I think it should be kept. This is something that Zach helped put together. This was something that was worked on for a lot of reasons. There was a lot of things that went wrong. It was used. It was used for a lot of different things that we did. That is why Linda is censored, is because of this communication policy. I think removing it just opens the door for our people that work for us to be attacked again. I don't think that that's appropriate. I think our lawyer, our past lawyer, did a lot of work on this for things that he felt was very reasonable. These are things that were not just put out there by board members. This was put in with a lot of legal help. And it just was put together not that long ago. And I think that it should stay. I mean, there's a reason why it was put there. And if I thought that people could treat people the way that they should all be treated, and everybody would communicate the way that people should communicate, and we don't treat our vendors horribly, then I would say we wouldn't need it, but that's not what happens.
Cole, do we treat you horribly?
So far, no.
Mackenzie, do we treat you horribly?
But you do know what happened in the past,
I'm
correct?
aware of, yes,
Yeah.
I've spoken with all your past consultants and your current,
Yes.
I'm aware of every board has issues. I'm not treated horribly right
Sorry,
now.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
No, Beth, I didn't mean to interrupt. So, I didn't
Yeah,
mean to-
I'm just saying that this was put into place because we didn't have a choice.
So here's my take on the policy. Very convoluted, a lot of stuff in there. I'm a proponent of free speech. Let people speak. We don't need more rules. It's a lot.
So you think that vendors should be able to be, like, you will do this, and you will do
Oh, they
that?
work for us. The better.
We
You
can
don't
only-
treat anybody
You
like
know,
that.
I mean, I'm not saying to be.
Well,
I'm not saying to be nasty. Like,
they're
but
nasty.
I don't know. I just don't see it being
What do you think, Zach?
very efficient. I think we could have something better,
We didn't
but
fire him.
more effective. I don't know. I
Say
think
that
it's
out loud.
a lot
Yeah.
packed
Say
in
that out
there. I mean, now, nonetheless, I believe there's certain components there that may be good, but maybe drafted in a 3-page resolution. I don't know. But having this whole package of a lot of stuff, I don't know. I just see it to be ineffective.
Maybe it needs to be redone.
Maybe
And a lot of
redone,
it be taken
reviewed.
out.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna waste any time on it, then let us just honor Beth's wish, because all the complaints in the file are against you. So you have an opportunity to defend yourself on this agenda item, or we can follow the policy and then take action. And I do need to clarify something. My censure had nothing to do with this policy because I never had a communication policy violation filed against me. I was never given the opportunity to defend myself. That was something that was cooked up. That had nothing to do with this policy. So
You
this,
want to share with people why so many people left?
yeah, because they obviously chose to. It's a choice.
Linda.
The point I'm making is, if we're gonna go on this agenda item, Beth, let us look at all these violations and then you can defend yourself.
I think we're gonna waste a lot of
We
time.
waste a lot of
okay?
time because there's
And it's
11
not
of them.
gonna change a single
It
thing on how
I agree.
somebody acts. It's not. They're gonna act the way they act, and it's not gonna change a thing. So why spend the energy and the time on this when we can spend the energy and time on things that are beneficial to this district, to the residents?
Could not agree with
That,
you.
that has no benefit to the residents whatsoever. So, I'm okay with just move forward, get rid of it, and be done with it.
I agree.
I agree.
We've talked so much about
Let's
this.
do a motion. Go ahead.
Quick question for you. for council? I mean, I know you've mentioned that the district, one of your district, and I think you work with, your firm works with about 11 districts, and you,
No, we represent hundreds of districts.
I think Cole has.
I have over 20.
yeah.
Our firm represents hundreds of districts.
All right, so you have about 11. I know we've talked at one point at 11. I think when you talked, okay, so that's it. So help me out understand, what's your take on when you read this communication policy? And I'm asking your opinion as an attorney. Like, what's your take? How is this going to benefit us as a board?
As an attorney, it's drafted to keep directors in line in terms of, it seems like it's drafted to ensure that directors don't, spread rumors or talk negatively about other directors. That's kind of how it's drafted, to keep order. At least my interpretation of it is it's drafted to kind of keep order, and if a director speaks out of line or isn't in order, then you're going to get slapped on the wrist with censure or something like that. Again, there's nothing in the state law. You can be censured 100 times, but you're an elected official, so you would have to be voted off the board, or quit, or there are some reasons that the TCQ allows directors to be terminated. So I mean, my over 360-degree view of it is that it's really just drafted to keep directors in line and to keep directors behaving well and with one another and with their consultants.
Well, that's not working.
It's not working.
So
We still have directors spreading
Spreading
false
rumors.
information and all that still goes on, so. And if we spent the time to write it up every time it was presented to us, we'd do nothing but that.
And at the end of the day, you would have to prove the evidence. There's a lot of communication.
The way it's written is that
And
a complaint gets made, it gets sent to the board president then sends it to me. I have to review the complaint, I have to review the policy, I have to make a determination if I think it blows the policy, violates the policy. Then I take it to you all, and then you all to discuss it, and then you all get to decide if you want to censure the director or have a 20-minute conversation about it. That's what it is.
A whole lot of waste of money. That's all I heard, was, Cole's time is just, it's a waste. It's just complete waste. Sorry.
I agree, because the behavior, it doesn't change the behavior.
And, to keep directors in line and in order, if I start popping off and y'all have the ability to vote 3, you're disrupting the meeting, out. And that's it. We have that power to, you're not, calm down, have an order, or else we're going to vote to remove you for that meeting. We have that power, right, Cole? Do we not have, with 3 votes, we can,
It's been done.
if you're disruptive of the meeting, you're not allowing business to flow.
Yeah, I think you all have adopted that policy. Yeah, you've done that before. And I think most importantly, you have people who attend your meetings and who watch these meetings, and if they see a dysfunctional board, they're gonna say, heck, I'm gonna go out in November and run at the next election because I think I can make a change. And so they're gonna take your spot on the board. And that's how it works.
Beautiful thing.
Make the motion. Somebody. You want me to make it?
Not making a motion. That's for sure.
I'll do it. I move that the communication policy be abolished in this district.
I'll second.
We have a second. Do we need further discussion? All right. All in favor? And I'll abstain.
You have to give your reason.
I think there are good elements in the communication policy. Certain good elements that I think would maintain, I guess, decorum, would inform the directors that they are to behave in an ethical manner. At least for reference, not that it's gonna, but at least some reminder and reference. But anyways, that's my take. I'll abstain. I think we need to have some point of idea of how a director should.
Well, then
But
could you draft that? You can draft that and bring it to the board.
Yeah, I'll abstain.
Okay.
And I'll draft it later, but that's my reason.
Beth, what's your vote?
I know,
Vote's no, okay.
I've already shared one.
So the motion passed, right?
Motion passed. The communication policy has been blown away. Next item, agenda item.
Great order.
All right, I'm out.
And this is my agenda item, the rate order.
Carryover from last month.
Right.
What are you supposed to review, your changes?
So
So did everybody do their homework?
everybody look at the changes on this rate order. Let me just summarize for you, because there's a lot of changes. The rate order, the way it's currently written is, if you fall into hard times and your water gets shut off, you are automatically charged, if you're a property owner, an additional $200 in deposit. If you're a renter, an additional $500 deposit. So we have accounts out here who have $1,600 on deposit in this district. Deposits are to mitigate risk. There is nobody who's going to have a water bill of $1,600. That doesn't happen. Long before that gets that high, they've moved. So what I did with this rate order was I looked at it in the form of mitigating risk. And I literally looked at all the accounts, how much is in the deposits, how much they pay for water, and then I tried to find averages. And also the process that Infomark uses with billing and payment and ultimately shutting off water for non-payment. And there's about a 6-week window from when your payment is due until when your water will be shut off. It varies a little bit, but it's about 6 weeks. If you don't pay your water for the month of August, by mid-September, your water, and you make no effort to pay it, by mid-September, when they read your meter a second time, they're going to shut off your water. Now you're going to have 2 bills. You're going to have August and September to pay. But your water's turned off. You can't run the bill any higher because you don't have water. So the most we need on deposit for any customer, whether you're a renter or whether you're a property owner, is $200. That mitigates the risk of you absconding without paying your water bill. That is more than enough. It satisfies the purpose of a deposit, to mitigate risk. It also helps these people who find themselves month after month struggling to pay their water bill from getting into a situation like we have with the family that has no water right now. Their water bill is over $700. Not for water, but all these additional deposits that have been added to their bill. My understanding of their situation is they will never get out of this hole. They can never fix this problem. And we're making it too hard for them to fix it. So, I have corrected many errors in this rate order, and I have reduced the amount of deposit to $200 for everyone who uses water here. And then I've made some adjustments to language. But one of the things, and Mackenzie just brought this to my attention, that I didn't do is in paragraph
Page 11.
5, the reconnection of service. It says the district shall charge the following charge per connection prior to reconnecting the water. It's a $40 reconnect fee. If it's additional services after hours, it's at
the cost at that point.
It's at the cost. If Infomark has to come out here to turn on your water after 4:30, you're going to pay the trip charge, you're going to pay for the text time, it's going to be a big bill. They used to say collect it up front or we won't turn on your water. I suggest that we add it to their next month's bill and turn their water on, rather than collect it up front. That's my recommendation. So, when we change the rate order, it has a trickle-down effect. It changes other documents. The rate order is published, the rate order is included in the welcome packet, all that stuff. We'll have to adjust that, and I volunteer to do that with Stephanie and Mackenzie to make everything match, so it's really clear and upfront. But I think we really need to do it because what I found in looking at all the records of all the account holders is we have 400 plus accounts that have $0 on deposit, nothing. But they pay their bills on time, they're not a risk. Then we have at least 300 accounts that have over $1,000 on deposit. And then everything in between. So here's what I would suggest. We look at every account over $200 in deposit, and we draft a standard letter that is sent to these people that we will be using your deposit funds to pay all future water bills until your deposit excess in the amount of whatever it is, 100, 1,600, is depleted down to just $200. That prevents the bookkeeper from having to write 1,900 checks.
Wait a minute, are you suggesting we put a credit on the account?
We use the deposits to pay their water bill.
I'm sorry, my
Not a
brain was
credit.
checking your signatures, not listening, because last time when we talked about doing a check.
Yeah, well, that impact to Artisan is too great.
Well, the way that we have to do this in the system is apply it as a credit to the account.
And is that an issue?
It's not, it's a sticky process to follow. It's just gonna take time, because what we'll have to do is go into each account individually, deduct the amount, apply it as a credit, and then verify that it does, and then.
And this, sorry.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
So this is all done manually?
It's a manual entry system, so.
And my concern was, if it's done manually, what is the chance of mistakes? And that money not getting applied to the person's account?
I don't think that.
That won't mess up.
I don't think you'll have an issue there. The only thing that I foresee, and the reason why we like to do straight checks for these, and I understand it's a lot for Artesian to do this, is because it muddies the waters for their history ledger moving forward. When you pull their history ledgers moving forward, you have to understand the picture that they had a deposit credited back to themselves and the whole nine, so it can cause future issues with account reviews and things of that nature. As far as the manual process goes, we put a note on the account, no different than the property on Birch when we had to issue the last credit. We note the account, we apply the credit, and every month their bill, more or less, we have to go in and manually apply the balance due to the credit on the account. So it does create a manual process until they run out of it. And then I know that this is going to be something you'll notice in the future. We do have to mark them all as special needs because we have to go in and
Because you have to manually.
the payments around every month until they run out.
The alternative is to have the accountant cut refund checks.
You could do that between meetings, though. If you vote tonight, we can do that and circulate them for signature. It doesn't have to be done at a board meeting through a financial packet. Keep that in mind. Because then it would lessen your load at your next meeting.
My only concern about that is that I really need the accounting firm to get our books in order so that we can have a clear picture of what's in the bank, what's been spent out of 2023, and if we add
The deposits to that.
700 checks on them, where's their priority?
Yeah.
I understand. I think, and I understand that it's a process for them.
How about this? I have a better idea. I have another idea, not a better one, another idea. We adopt this rate order tonight to stop hemorrhaging people out of deposit money. And then give me until the next meeting to totally build a table of what we would have to refund, how much into each, and at the next meeting, not the one for the budget.
The
The regular meeting.
13th.
Then we vote on how to make disposition. You'll have exact numbers. All these accounts get all this money back either by check or by applying their future water payments. And then it'll give me an opportunity to talk to Lisa in advance and tell her it may come down to you having to do checks, but she won't have to do it prior to the budget cycle being finished.
And so my other point of this is, one, getting budget out of the way. Two, if you put a comprehensive list together with backup account data, all they do is enter it into a system and then run it through a check burner. They print the checks.
I
they
think their
fill it out.
concern was, because we discussed this with the accountant, that how many checks will be floating out there forever?
Yeah, the people will
Correct.
throw them in the trash
Right.
because it looks like a
Ah,
junk
I see.
envelope.
It will.
So-
We can send them an email.
Look at all the refund checks we.
And that's
Well,
normal.
there's some that are gonna get a hefty amount, and I think a lot of people are gonna, it's Christmas, come on.
I have,
But
I have-
I'm concerned about the ones that are gonna be, maybe they're just above $50, they're, you know, maybe it gets lost in the mail.
it'll end up at the state comptroller's as,
Yeah.
An
You got money.
unclaimed, yeah. An option, and this is something you can consider, is we create threshold that says anything above this amount gets sent via FedEx or something of tracking measure, and we make them sign for it.
Then it gets costly on us.
It
Um,
does,
we could notify the recipients
ahead of time.
by email, you are going to get a check from us in the mail. We can come up with a form letter. This is what we've done, we've changed the rate order, you have excess amount on account, we're going to refund it to you. Please watch for the check.
Yeah.
If you don't see it in X number of weeks, notify Stephanie.
So that's something that we can take care of in,
In September.
correct.
I
So
just
let's
want the
just-
rate
Discuss
order.
delivery methods.
I want the rate order done now to stop collecting additional deposits from people.
do
And
that.
if we do that now, we're going to handle the,
Birch, we have to talk about.
After that,
Birch.
after we do this,
After you go,
okay? So let me make a motion. I move that we adopt this modified rate order that's in the board packet and make it effective immediately.
In its totality with the changes that you're,
Yes,
okay, as is, with the red edits, correct?
yes.
So,
So
I
we,
guess discussion now.
so we have a second, let's go ahead and start with
Who
discussion.
seconded it?
Kelly.
Kelly did. So
Thank
go
you.
ahead, David.
The phone number that is put on there, you're stating not to have Houston's number on there, so what number are we gonna put, and is Infomark able to accommodate that?
What page are you?
10.
Yes, I was thinking that office, whatever the phone number is in that
We can put
office.
the standard 512 customer service number on there.
Is that picked up in Houston?
Only if it doesn't get answered here. It
Okay.
goes to our reps here first, and in the event that
Because
no one
only
catches
Stephanie,
it.
because she's been in this meeting, is gonna understand what's going on.
No, I understand, well, that's not true. When you issue a new rate order, we have an entire rate order department that issues the changes. They put it on all billing platforms that we use, AVR, DMS. It goes on a bulletin board, so any customer service person that answers the phone pulls up your bulletin board, it has your rate order, PCP, water conservation, anything we add to this bulletin is in front of them. Your rate order changes also flow through that exact same process.
I'm just saying, the customer service number in Houston is not going to understand that we have changed the rate order, that we are refunding deposits. Stephanie's gonna know, because she sat in this meeting and heard it, but
Correct.
Houston's not gonna know.
Yes, they will.
Yes, they will.
We,
Okay.
we have to.
It's gonna be in
we
that
have- We
Right.
have to
I'll get
send them an updated rate order, and I have to go through and line by line your changes to
Okay.
them. And then they get it, they have to upload it into the system.
No,
and
I'm
it-
saying,
It changes the bulletin, so yes, any person that answers the phone is gonna have an updated rate order and see, and it'll be notated, rate order has been recently adjusted, no more deposits outside of 200 can be collected. It summarizes
Okay.
the changes, so yes, they will be aware, but nonetheless, we can put the 512 number
Okay.
on there, is my point.
that's.
It's only picked up by Houston in the event that someone in Austin does not pick it up.
So, and also, are we putting in the amount of time, we have on there, how many days after the bill is the length of, is the red tag hung on the door? Is that information that's gonna be put on this rate order, or is that just a question that you have, in general?
It varies, it varies dependent on the date, you can't put an exact
So
date to
then you
it.
can't put it in the rate
Because
order?
it depends on the number of
So
days
that
between the
won't be-
cycles, weekends, holidays, things like
The
that.
read date versus the billing date.
Correct. Your letter date, things like that, all are different
So,
on a monthly basis.
My concern is that we're adopting this resolution, and I don't wanna move, I wanna get this done, but, you know, there are changes on here that, you know, if we adopt as presented, well, it's on there, right? So are we gonna be adding those into the rate order?
This is the rate order.
I understand,
Well,
but,
but are your questions
oh,
going to
right,
become
are
part
they gonna be
of the rate
part?
order?
No, questions will not be part of
No,
the rate order.
So,
So who determines that?
right, that's where I'm.
Wait, sorry.
the questions that I have on this,
So,
But I think questions are notation. I think the changes are,
strike,
like strike through
struck
and
and
then
struck
put the
through,
notation,
and then,
correct?
and then I've tried to put replacement words in place, like on page 7. Solid waste, recycling, and hazardous waste disposal are included in the fee.
Okay.
And that assumes that we're gonna do hazardous waste disposal. We have not agreed to do that yet. We've discussed it at a meeting, but we didn't vote to do it.
so we
Should we
are,
vote to do that?
so we are, anything that is strike
Gets replaced,
gets,
replaced.
I think it just should be more specific.
Now, there's certain items that you underline but no notation.
Give me a page.
Page number 11, item E, district representative. And so I'm wondering if that's just something to change but no
Oh, no.
notation?
No, there's nothing to change there.
Okay,
I underlined it for my own purpose.
okay, gotcha.
No, if there's no suggested correction, it's just for my purposes.
So let's say on top of page 9, on F, you said is tampering a fee or a fine. I mean,
Maybe,
Yeah, that was-
maybe
it-
remove your questions and send a clean version.
Okay,
That way
But
it's,
if we're making a motion on adopting.
well, I think you can still adopt it minus her questions. It's just the questions muddle it a little
Well,
bit.
because
I don't
I'm-
think that they're proposing changes within the questions. Linda just was looking for clarification.
well, because do
She was
you
looking
call
through it.
tampering, and the fee associated, is that a fine? Or is that a fee? Because it's called a fee, and I think it's a fine, but
It's,
it's semantic.
I was gonna say it's an
And
opinion.
that's something that you can change, because we plan on changing this again, don't we?
Well, you hope you don't change it very often,
Well,
because it's
I
a lot
know,
of work,
but-
but, that was a question for the board, actually, is a tampering fee a fine or a fee?
It's a fee simply because it goes on your bill, but you can call it a fine if you want to. It doesn't matter. It's gonna follow the same process.
Okay. Then don't, I mean, I wouldn't make a change on
Unless it's
anything that's a
necessary.
question.
Okay. Okay, then okay. My only issue here is, in certain areas, you have it notated that charges and fees or fines will be added to the bill and billed on the first bill after the service. But like I had pointed out to you on page 11, that specifically states that reconnect fees and no costs associated with after-hours reconnection are billed prior to customers being turned back on.
No, I want, and I think we need to stay consistent, and it needs to be applied to the next bill.
Okay, so then we need to, Cole, can you notate for page 11,
Yeah.
B is 10, right?
Yeah.
Item 10, sorry, I don't know Roman numerals very
Yep.
well. Under charge for reconnection, the last portion of that line needs to be stricken where it says prior to reconnection, and that prior to reconnection needs to state on the next bill.
So it'll read, the
It'll
district
read
shall
district
charge
shall
the
charge-
following charge per connection prior to.
No, not
Yeah.
prior to.
Oh, I'm
It'll
sorry,
state
per connection, on the next bill.
B is 5 and X is 10.
Thank you.
That's
On
what I
item
called it
5.
5, and I thought I got it wrong.
You know what, item
B is
B.
fine.
B is fine.
Yeah. And C is 50, I can keep going.
Oh gosh, no.
That's
So
awesome.
that will be included in the motion for the rate order, because I do want it to be consistent, because when you do that, it's very hard for our department to say, okay, this item is on the next bill, but this item is now. It's hard to keep up with when you're inconsistent,
They
which
need
is
to, the
why
customer needs to be told, these fees will be added to your
the
next bill, and then,
and they pay
add it
their
to
current
their next
bill
bill.
at that time.
okay.
So my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you get cut. You have to pay your current bill, but any incurred fees will go on the following bill. Okay.
Absolutely.
So the motion on the table is,
To adopt this new rate order,
Minus Linda's question.
minus questions.
And including the added change to page 11.
Trying to make it clear.
we have a second.
You've
That's
discussed.
not removing the waste.
No.
Thank you. 11 will be XI. She's like getting.
Do you want to restate your motion? I mean, it was
I
very
think
clear.
Cole has
I think I got
You
it,
got it?
yeah.
Okay,
So.
So we have a second?
Any more discussion?
I'm okay.
any more discussion? Okay, we have a second?
We have a second by Kelly,
Yeah,
we just need a vote.
All right, so all in favor, let's vote.
All right, so I'm gonna put together a clean rate order, and I'll bring it to your next probably regular board meeting, and that'll have the certificate page on it for you all to sign. It's gonna be effective today.
Can you send me the clean one
I'm gonna
as soon
send
as
it to
you
you
have
as soon as we
because
get
I
it, so you
have-
can distribute it,
I
yeah.
have to send it in and notate the changes to our rate order department, and that's the
Yes.
only way I can get it, the changes implemented, so the
Yes.
sooner you can do that.
Yeah, we'll get it to you this week. Okay.
And then I will do the work prior to the next meeting to tell you how many accounts need how much in refunds, et cetera, the details.
And we're gonna find out how much money.
Wait, we need to discuss, you accepted the rate order, now we need to discuss purge.
Yes, I'm not done, I will. So that takes care of the rate order. Now, we're in a situation which the current rate order, the one we are operating on right now, allows us to use deposits on accounts to pay water bills. With a board vote, we can use their deposit money to defray some of that water bill. The situation with Birch, the bill is how much?
Give me 1 second and I'll give you an exact.
And I want their balance of their deposit.
Your current balance of what's owed is $735.91. That does include an additional deposit, so if you subtract that.
We cannot do that because the rate order says we had to collect it, so we can't
Okay,
unfortunately
You're good
subtract.
then, so $735.91 is the current balance owed,
Okay.
including the reconnection fee deposit. Do you have her current deposit on file?
It's 875.
$875, yeah.
Okay.
I'll double check.
I'm fairly certain that that's it, because I wrote $875.
Okay, that doesn't leave enough on account. She has to have $200 left on account. So you could, we could use,
But then her deposit will go up by
So-
$200.
no, she's not gonna get, no. We can use $675 of her current $875 on file to put towards her water bill of $735.91. She will owe the district, I think it's $149.
With that,
Hold on,
I just have a question.
$60.91. If she can pay $60.91 and we apply,
$675
yes,
of her current deposit.
then
of
we can turn
$875.
her water on tomorrow.
My question is, in the event that she does tell me I cannot pay until the 2nd, are you comfortable with me deferring the $60 until the 2nd and I can turn her back on?
I'm comfortable with it.
It's a board vote. I'm asking you because I don't want to come into the situation tomorrow where she's already told us. So mind y'all, this resident has emailed customer service. She has emailed Todd directly. She's grasping.
It's 110 degrees outside,
And I
she
don't
has
want
no
to get
water.
into a situation where she has already said she can't do anything until the 2nd.
Okay,
Are y'all comfortable with that? I'm going,
I have a question.
no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Can I do it?
No. No,
what, pay it?
yes.
Why can't they? I understand that's happened
I'm
before.
just saying, I don't think he can.
He can,
But
probably.
I can.
Just don't, we don't need to know that.
Oh.
Okay, that's my point is, that's what I'm saying, no, you can't, and I didn't look at you.
Why?
Well, we've
Because
had other board members who have paid,
we have, but it's
Customers'
pretty
water
frowned
bills.
upon. It shows favoritism, it shows
Yeah.
bias.
and then you have to,
and
then you have
open
to pick
records
up
requests.
everybody's.
It does, it opens up a can of worms I'd rather not see y'all get into.
How generous of you.
That's
to
why I'm
even
asking
suggest
is
it.
if we can just make it to where I
We
will,
can wait
I
till
will
the
ask her if she can pay it. If she
Yeah.
tells me she cannot,
And have somebody use her resources.
Yes.
So my only question is, if she doesn't pay after the 2nd,
Okay.
She would be disconnected again.
Okay, that's what my
immediately.
question is, what happens if it, because
She would be
history
disconnected.
repeats.
She would be.
Okay.
But I
And we
was
can do
told,
a
I-
bake
it's not that I
sale
don't
or
want her
something
off,
and
I
try
don't-
to
I just
collect.
I
know
have
what
a feeling
happens.
she will very easily be able to pay. I'm just concerned,
Yes, right across the street.
given the history of this current
What they're
account,
about.
what would come of
They're
it.
very,
Would
yeah,
be-
That's all I'm
People
asking
there.
is what happens again, so I don't want, I mean, I just don't want it to
If she
become a
gets
vicious
into the
cycle.
situation where she can't pay her bills, we will have to apply the rate order as
Yeah, I agree.
amended, but we will not be charging her an additional $200
Deposit.
deposit.
should be able to
She
get
will-
out whole.
We will leave her an opportunity to dig out.
Get out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so are you all comfortable with me prolonging that till the second if it comes
If
down
that
to
comes
that?
down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you need to explain to her that we
I
are
will.
going to apply 600 whatever
So-
dollars.
Cole, do we need a motion to?
Yes.
Definitely need a motion.
All right,
Hey, Linda, bring it
all right,
together.
hold on.
6, 7, 8.
So it'd be 675. Okay, I move that we apply to the property on Birch $675 in their deposit account towards their outstanding water bill of $735.91, and allow this resident until September 2nd to pay the additional $60.91 to bring her current.
You got it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
I hope you got that.
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
I did.
And then all in favor?
Yes.
All right.
I thought you said flavor.
I may have
My
at this
brain
point.
dead.
It's
Um, That's the
Why would we have
compassionate
that guy
thing
who's
to
good
do.
at flavor
And then
now?
I think
Makes sense.
we should give her some access to some resources if she doesn't know.
Okay.
On to new business.
Okay. New business.
Sorry. I want to go home.
All right, item 8, new business, including,
Resolution to
yeah,
declare
declaring development status for the district tax.
I think this is where you take over.
Yeah, so there's a resolution and might be in the packet, but it's definitely in front of you. It's something that you all probably have adopted every year as you do it starting from 2019 when Senate Bill 2 took effect. You need to declare yourselves either a developed district, developing district, or a low increment district. You all could only be a developed or developing, and you all are a developed district. It means that you have built facilities and sold bonds to provide service to 95% or more of the district at build out. So right there is a resolution stating such that you all declare yourselves a developed district. That comes into play, of course, as you know, due to your tax rate. The developed district can only increase its tax rate or the average tax bill by 3.5%. So when you do your tax rate, you want to make sure you stay under that 3.5% or you trigger an automatic election, rollback election.
You don't want that.
No.
Can we increase basic service fees?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I'm just asking. Chris Lane told me I should ask you.
Thank you.
July 19th and 25th agenda.
Linda, the McGinnis check is next to you. Can you sign that and have one other person sign it? So we can send that out ASAP tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
That's the one that was never signed, but you all approved release of.
Yeah, we did. Did you find a noise check?
We didn't have it in that
I
folder.
didn't have a signature on it.
I sent y'all the list of checks.
Did you make sure it never got cleared?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I
We did
I
approve
asked
it.
Ashley to reissue it because we did confirm it hasn't cleared.
So you're gonna issue another check?
I asked her to.
Okay, good.
I tried to get it in for this meeting, they were pretty swamped.
But you didn't need it. Right away.
He's gone this long with
Um,
that. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Okay, so that's the resolution.
Consider a report from your district's financial advisor on the proposed tax rate. We kind of talked about that, but
So yeah, so items 8B through E are all about your tax rate. So on your Google Drive, you have a tax rate recommendation or a packet from your financial advisor, Chris. So you all have gone through this process already before. You do it every year. What you'll do is you'll discuss the tax rate. Then you're going to authorize publication of the tax rate. As you recall, when you publish a tax rate, whatever rate you publish, you can adopt that rate or lower. You can never adopt a rate that's higher than what's the rate you've published. So when in doubt, we always recommend publishing the highest rate that you possibly can, and you have the option to adopt lower if you want to at the meeting where you actually call hearing on the tax rate and then adopt it. So the schedule is for you all to authorize publication of the tax rate tonight, call the hearing for your tax rate on September 13th. We'll make sure it's published in a timely fashion in the paper. And then on the meeting on the 13th, you all will call an open hearing, listen to residents or anyone who wants to comment about the tax rate, close the hearing, and then you all as board will vote on that tax rate and you'll adopt the tax rate.
For that
Thank you.
meeting, you typically start at 6 every year and do the hearing from 6 to 6:30, and then your actual meeting starts at 6:30. So you'll likely have two agendas for that. One will be for the one that starts at 6, and one will be for the one that starts at 6:30. That's how we've done it in the past. I don't see a reason to change. It's been pretty standard. It works well. People know that they come to the first half to talk about the tax rate hearing and then move on.
Can we do 6:30 and 7 since we started?
Yeah, it's totally up to you. I'm just letting you guys know that's what y'all used to do. Is that work for everybody else?
Start
It's
at
the same
6:30.
time, it's just your agendas will separate. If you finish with your tax rate hearing before 7, you just can't start the next portion of your meeting until 7, but that's the only thing it delays.
We'll keep it same.
So, did you get that?
6:30?
They usually you're gonna need two agendas. One will be specifically for the tax rate hearing at 6:30. The next one would include everything else that's needed for the night. That's how they've always done it in the past.
Okay.
So it will be one at 6:30, the next.
If we don't
one at
have to
7.
do it that way and we can just roll right
If you wanna do it all
on,
at once, then we
that would
can.
be my preference.
We normally just have one agenda.
Perfect.
You're
That
right.
works
like
a
that.
lot
Okay.
better, less posting.
And we don't have to wait between one and the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, so your regular meeting's on the 13th at 6:30. Of course, if there any conflicts come up, please let us know as soon as possible.
Special meetings, the 6th at 6:30, correct?
Speaking of.
Yeah, the budget meeting, yes. But for that 9:13 meeting, we have to have a quorum because you all do have to set the tax rate then. If something comes up or you know you're gonna be out, let us know as soon as possible because we'll have to end up republishing the rate again in the paper and then setting another meeting that adheres to the county deadline. So keep us in the loop with everything and don't get sick.
Why was tonight a special meeting?
Because of your tax rate.
So typically what we do is you have your regular board meeting is set on the meeting date, which is for you all is always a Wednesday at 6:30. When you differ from that meeting, when you differ from that
Time.
regular meeting or time, we call it a special meeting because it's kind of out of the norm of the regular. So other than that, that's
Okay,
all.
perfect. Makes sense. Keep going.
All right, I've just noticed that we have a resolution in here that I think you ought to present this regarding the adopting playground policy guidelines resolution, which I think it's important that we.
I think we have that under the attorney's report, right? Or was that under parks? It doesn't matter. I know it's in the board
Should have been
packet.
under parks, but.
Okay, I was just trying to point y'all in the direction for the rest of the board to be able to.
Yeah, it's parks, but we can do it under the attorney's report and knock out the tax rate since we've already started that if y'all want.
It's under 6A and then the second part.
So on the Google Drive, agenda item number 8 is the tax rate. You can pull up the report from Samco.
So the resolution that you just mentioned, Hanoi, is in the main meeting folder. It's the the first document down at the bottom. It was added by you, Cole. That's why I said it was an attorney's item. I thought it was in your folder. That should be up in the Parks Committee folder, but that's the one that they were referring to. And it wasn't in the Parks Committee folder because I looked for it earlier.
Have you read that? Read this?
We can defer that till the next meeting too. I mean,
I think it's pretty straightforward.
The
park.
Tell me when it's back.
yeah, all it states is that you're gonna, for playgrounds, adhere to the ASTM standards for new
Oh,
construction.
for construction? Oh, yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah, I'm
For new construction.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
don't need to wait on this.
Cole, can they go ahead and vote on that one really quick?
Sure.
Because we've covered parks already. Do you want to go ahead and propose a vote for that?
for the resolution?
Yes, or Kelly, whomever.
Kelly, yeah, Kelly's the
David,
one that.
maybe.
You're right.
Um,
It's just, it says we'll follow ASTM standards for new construction moving forward, for playscapes.
Right, do we need to read resolutions out loud?
No.
Okay.
Can we read it since David hasn't really,
Sure.
I mean, not the whole thing, but the main.
There's a typo in this.
Oh, we'll correct that then.
Okay, there's 2 T's and counties.
Oh, that'll be
at the
corrected.
top. Whereas section 756.061 of the Texas Health and Safety Code establishes guidelines and safety standards for publicly funded playgrounds, and whereas Williamson Travis County's Municipal District Number 1, the district owns, operates, and maintains publicly funded playgrounds within the district, and whereas the Board of Directors of the district desires to adopt new playground policy guidelines to ensure public safety, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of this MUD that all publicly funded playgrounds within the district must be constructed and maintained in accordance with section, there's another typo in here, Cole, 750, it says 759, that should be 756.
Okay.
0.061 of the Texas Health and Safety Code. Section 2, all publicly funded playground equipment must be purchased from an International Playground Equipment Manufacturers Association certified vendor. Section 3, all publicly funded playgrounds within the district must pass a safety inspection conducted by a certified playground safety inspector prior to being open to the public.
Okay.
I move we adopt the resolution.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All in favor?
It's a 4-1 Cole.
We got a no?
No.
Oh, no on Ben.
And I will say why. Because I do believe that things can be built to standard.
Through
There are
what?
daycare, I mean, I ran daycares for 25 years. There are things that can be built to standard. So as long as it is built to ASTM standards, I believe that that's fair.
So that's okay, because it passed the motion.
Yes, that's fine. As long as it can be built to that, that's what many daycare centers are built like.
So our
Private
next,
They're
money,
not publicly
public money.
funded.
our next item is RFQ for engineering.
Tax rate.
Oh, yeah.
Tax rate.
Sorry, I thought we covered that.
Oh, we're being jumping.
You just inspired me.
We got Mackenzie running the agenda.
Sorry.
That's all right. We're getting through it. Do we need a motion on the tax rate?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
I make a motion
Go for it.
that we set the tax rate to 0.2881 as recommended by the financial advisor.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second.
How
All in
much is
favor?
that, what was it? Just so I understand,
It's a-
where were we before today?
Last year, you all had a tax rate of, let me pull it up, 0.3018. That was your total tax rate from last year. Some of that rate included debt service. This September, you all are making the district is making its final debt service payment. So, the debt service tax rate proposed for 2023 drops down to 0. And so that's where you're getting a little bit of that cushion. But in terms of debt service taxes, you can raise your debt service tax rate as high as possible, and it doesn't affect rollback elections because you have a duty to your bondholders.
So now we're just collecting for maintenance and operations.
Correct.
0.2881. 2881.
Correct.
2881.
Correct.
Who seconded that?
No.
I know.
Thank you.
All right. Do we need a motion to authorize you to publish that?
Yes.
Please.
I would like to move that we authorize Cole to publish the notice of hearing on the proposed 2023 tax rate.
Second that.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor? All right.
Now we're up to F.
Now we're what?
Up to F. RFQ for engineering.
I'm so sorry, Mackenzie, but the development, the resolution declaring development status, you all adopted that. I don't know who made the motion.
Just pick people.
I move so.
Okay. Is there a second?
No, we've had a motion. You submitted a motion for that one.
For which one?
For the one you just
Development
mentioned,
status, like
development
what?
status.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I remember you all adopting it, but no motions being
I
made.
move we adopt
Thank you,
that,
Ellie.
that thing.
Just like
Do
I
you have it
said.
in there?
No, I don't have it.
So.
You got it.
We need a second.
Okay, so we have a second.
Yeah, I did.
And I'll second.
Second, thanks.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Good deal.
We are a completely built out district, right?
Yes, we are.
She said it, right? Checking.
We do have a little bit.
For the third time,
All right,
we're
here
on
we go.
RFQ for engineering.
RFQ for engineering. That is my agenda item.
Let's do it so fast.
And I have put a RFQ in the board packet. This is one that I had written in 2021, prior, different board. I've made changes to have all the RFQs sent to Cole because I didn't know where else to send them. Used to be to our last attorney on there. And the reason why I think this is a good idea is because we had a $36,000 budget in engineering services for the year 2023, and we have spent $95,000. So our engineering services are higher than any of our neighboring districts. We need to see if we can get better rates and reduce some of that expenses, and we need to trim down the costs of these services. And with Gray Engineering, we have the representative, Herb, who takes our information back to his office, and he meets with his staff, and then they have a kickoff meeting, and then they start working on a project. We pay for all of that, which is why the fee is so high. So I'm hoping that we can find a licensed, registered professional engineer who's willing to support our district, and only in areas of civil engineering. He's not going to get involved, like Herb has literally fallen into every other aspect of running this district. But what we really need is an engineer who only works on our engineering projects, like the lift station, or if there's a case of we have to survey all the pipes or run cameras through all the pipes, then an engineer would look at the results of that footage and not use them for any other services. That was the purpose of doing it the first time, and it is certainly the purpose of doing it this time. And it may be, and I don't know, because Herb's been with us, as I said, for over 30 years, he might be the best rate in town. It might be the best deal we can have, but we don't know that unless we put it out there on the street. And it costs nothing to send this out because I did the RFQ. We didn't hire somebody to do that. And we can at least feel confident in telling our constituents that we are keeping an eye on expenses by periodically, the TCEQ recommends every 5 years, going out for bid on our services. Make sure we're getting the best quality product for the least amount of money is the goal. So that's what this is for. So I would like to make a motion that we release this RFQ for engineering qualifications to see that we are getting the best we can for our money.
All right, do we have a second?
Second that vote.
Okay, do we have a second discussion?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, we just did this a few years ago, we talked about it in 2001. It has not been 5 years since we talked about that in 2001. We agreed to keep them at the time for the next 5, and I voted on that, and I'm gonna stick with that, what my decision was then.
2001, or you mean?
They're 21.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
TCEQ does recommend that we bid out every 5 years. I believe we spoke about it, but it was never rebid. So I think it's long overdue. I promised the constituents of this district that that is something that would be my goal, to ensure that we were getting the best bang for our buck, and that we follow the recommendations of TCEQ.
I mean, to me, it's very straightforward. It's a common practice, business practice, so that's all I have.
This is all part of being a good steward of the public's money.
Who seconded the motion?
I
David,
Thanks.
can we call the vote?
All right, so all in favor?
Beautification fund resolution,
Oh, that's also mine.
another abolisher.
Yeah. That was mine, and let me just read my little statement. Back in the day, when deed violation fines were assessed on customers' water bills, this money was collected from the water bill, and the lion's share of what was collected over the years was used to fund a private, nonprofit social club called Amwana. When the funding dried up, so did the social club. According to the audit report, there is almost $25,000 in this special fund account that are public funds, and therefore should be used to support the district's business. Abolishing this fund ensures that all money that comes into the district, also known as public funds, is used in support of the district and not a private social organization. So, the beautification fund has not taken in any money since we don't collect deed violation fines anymore. It's money that's sitting out there, just sitting out there, and we need that money to run the district. I put a copy of that resolution in the folder.
You just asked less than a half an hour ago for the ACC to take over some things.
That has nothing to do with beautification funds. They are not named in this resolution. They do not have access to public funds. These are public funds. They want to play ACC, they can.
Well, they need to have money to be able
It's
to
agenda
send out
item
letters and
8G.
take care of those things that
No,
we're
I
asking
don't
for
see
them to do.
No,
8G?
they don't.
It's a
You
beautification.
lost that
Yeah,
lawsuit.
I don't have it.
Look at,
It's in
You all
there.
It's in there.
it's there,
8G.
8G, right under 8F.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
There you go.
I just didn't see it before, okay.
And this, and I do want to add here, this beautification fund was set up with giving money to HOAs and Anderson Mill West. What they didn't do is give any money to Hunter's Glen 2. At the time, this money has been gathered for these years. They didn't collect any funds out of Hunter's Glen 1, but they gave Hunter's Glen 2 money to Hunter's Glen 1 to have crawfish boil. So it didn't beautify the neighborhood at all. It fed people crawfish, and they collected money from residents who have no access to this account. This whole thing violates Title VI of the Texas Administrative Code, where public funds are used for public business. They're not used for private clubs. They're not used for that. So this should have been, like I said, this money can no longer generate funds because we no longer put deed violation fines on water bills. In fact, we don't fine people for violating the deed. We take them to court, which is what the deed guarantees every resident in this community.
And unless everybody fully understands what you're talking about, I'm asking that we move this to the next meeting because people need to read the report of the lawsuit and why it was.
Point of order, Beth, I had
not.
My lawsuit against this district has no bearing on this resolution.
It does.
It does not. And you're insisting on bringing that up makes me want the communication policy in place just because you violated it again.
But Linda, you're not sharing with people what it's really for. You're putting it down
This-
when it's a good when it's a
No,
good thing.
it was a good thing when you were collecting the money. It was a real good thing.
I wasn't collecting.
It was a real good thing when this fund paid for the legal services of that private social organization, which you were the president of and you signed the
For
contract.
a week.
And you signed the contract. So I, as a taxpayer, do not want to pay the legal expenses of a private social club.
But you know what? This whole community paid $300,000 of your lawsuit.
No, they didn't. It was only 100,000. And 50,000 of it was Amwana.
Can we
Oh, my
move
goodness.
forward
Yes, we
on
can
this?
move
This
forward.
is just, let's,
That's
it's
It's
why
more
I'm
of the
saying-
same. It's more of the same.
Make your motion.
My motion is that we abolish this resolution that gives money to private social clubs.
A second.
Was this motion,
No more
was this
charades.
posted online?
What?
This thing? This resolution?
Oh, like on the district website?
Yeah.
Mine just Judy up in
You do.
here, because drama.
Well, and the facts aren't being given.
All right, so we have a motion, it's seconded by Kelly. Is there an all in favor? I don't know if you're discussing right now,
Okay,
sorry.
so, hold on, she submitted the motion,
And
we
she
have a
seconded
second? Okay, all right, so let's do discussion. Do you want to start?
There needs to be more time on this and given the chance to bring it all up to help people understand what it's really about. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so I have a question, since you brought up the agenda item, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you go.
My concern, that first popped into my head was we have $25,000, you said?
Approximately.
So, this is money that we collected from deed violation fines from people in this district. Now, we are not allowed to collect deed violation fines and put them on the water bill.
That is illegal, yes.
So, that money shouldn't belong to the district. It should go back to the people. Now, my concern is, how do we determine who gets what money goes here?
Well-
And where most of the majority money has already been spent.
Let me answer that for you. The majority of what has been collected over the years since they instituted this resolution is gone.
Correct.
It went to Easter egg parties and it went
July,
4th of July and
Halloween
pumpkin this
carving,
and it went to a lot of social
legal
activity.
bills.
And it went, and the lion's share went to Amwana's legal bills.
So my concern is, Cole, can we do this? Is this legal?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you all collected the money that got into that account in the first place, if it was on the water bill or
Yeah,
not.
It was on.
It was.
I mean, that's a separate issue in itself, but the money has been collected, and I don't think you all have received any requests for reimbursement. I mean, yeah, I think it was collected, you all had a policy to collect fines in that manner, you did, you stopped it, you have the money now. I don't see an issue with you all allocating that money elsewhere or spending it elsewhere. I don't know how you would be able to go back and
concern that popped
refund
into
it.
my head was, how do we distribute that? Do we just go backward? So,
If it
Cole's
was all,
okay?
if it was all intact, David, I would be the
Then-
first one to say, let's give it back to the people.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, the majority of it is gone. But I am working really hard to see exactly how much of that has been spent.
Yeah, and maybe we do look at that number and decide, and give me an opportunity to look at some law too, just to ensure. But
Got a tight budget coming up.
I don't think there is any issue with using that, because many districts will add assessments onto their water bill for park beautification or trails beautification, stuff like that. It allows residents to opt out of such additional funding. So I don't care about you all voting to abolish the resolution tonight. You can definitely do that, but in terms of the money, let's look at your numbers and then I'll do some research and we'll just make sure before.
And I don't believe we should push this off to the next agenda. So residents can get false information and get wound up, just putting it up. Let's move
No,
forward.
I think people should know what the money was used for. Because you're saying take away 4th of July parades. You're saying take away Halloween pumpkins. You're saying take away, you're taking everything away from the kids.
There is no Amwana.
No, but you know
There
what,
is no
to be a
M1.
member, there is certain money that is collected
Let
for people that
M1
want to
do
be
it.
And let
members.
We're not
go.
stopping Amwana from doing their.
Social organization can
They
exist.
they can.
Collect your dues, have your parties,
Not
grow
public
your
funds.
pumpkins, whatever you want to do.
So are you done?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
My question to you, I mean, I see an issue here, like taxpayers' money given to an external entity.
What was also used for all the violations and a lot of the deed issues. So that's, you need to.
No, it was
Oh,
not.
no, but my question, so give me some, what are the legal consequences if we were to give taxpayer money as a district, as board members, to a nonprofit entity, to disperse fund under the district beautification fund, whatever that is, which I don't have any history of accounting for, and I hope we have some accounting record for these entities. I mean, what are the risks if they're having meals with them, and,
Then we've answered.
everything, I don't know,
So in the past, I can speak to some of this, when the money would be dispersed, should we say, I think it was required prior to going to the HOAs of any nature that they had to submit something to the district that showed that they paid for something first, whatever beautification they did, a park bench, an awning, I don't know. They had to supply invoices to the MUD first before they could be even considered to receive funds to more or less reimburse them for their spending. So that's how it used to run in the past. So we may not necessarily have that in the accounting record. It would be probably a little difficult to figure out who did what. However, we will have accounting records that would show how much they received, the check amounts, things of that nature. But that's how it flowed in the past. It wasn't just, here's a $30,000 check. Do with it what you will. It was submit what you have spent money on that you are requesting beautification funds from the district for.
And I can give you an example. Lakeline Oaks, one year asked the board for money to light up their Lakeline Oaks signs. And they gave them money out of the beautification fund to do that.
But they had to
So-
submit an invoice
Oh,
first
an invoice.
of their own money spent
And
prior
it's-
to us giving them money.
And there are records, and I have them because I got them under open records 6 years ago, that show the distribution to Amwana. And there's all kinds of things in there, including belly dancers and meals and receipts for that kind of stuff. And they were reimbursed out of this account. That was considered good enough. And my argument to the board 3 boards ago, and why I went down the road of a lawsuit, was these are public funds. Any money that crosses the threshold into this district is public funds. Title VI of the Administrative Code will tell you exactly what you can do with public funds, and what you cannot do is fund a nonprofit social organization. That you can't do. And this money was used to do that for M1.
So back to the attorney, what are the risk factors of a resolution like this? I mean,
Well,
I'm
it's
assuming if you have a resolution like that, there has to be some proper oversight.
Boards can adopt resolutions which will give public funds to something that benefits the entirety of the district. If it's a private social club, you probably can't do that. But if you're giving money because, I guess in this district's case, it would be, let's say an HOA reaches out, or a neighborhood association reaches out and says, hey, we want to put Christmas lights lining the stop signs in the neighborhood. They can send a reimbursement to you all, and you all can pay for that, because that will benefit the entirety of the district. It'd be different if it was like a gated community within the district and the roads were private. That's different. You all, I don't believe, have that situation here. So, I mean, districts do that. They do put funds aside to help benefit certain programs, and then a lot of districts will do kind of like on what is the officer night, what's the national night out, and you know they'll put some money aside to put pamphlets out on water conservation. They'll pay for someone to grill hot dogs or whatever it is, kind of get the residents involved with the community. So there are things you can do. Yeah, there's so that stuff you can do that stuff. Yeah.
In
But
addition,
the district does that.
Yes, that has
District-
never come out of this fund.
The district
That didn't
takes
come
the
out of this
initiative
fund.
to do the national night out,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
They don't-
typically, yes.
They don't give it to another group, and that group does.
No. Typically,
It's the district.
yeah. I mean,
That's
unless there's
us
like a
as board members agreeing, we're gonna do the stop sign lights, whatever.
yeah, it would be like if there's, let's say, a group in the district that requests something from you all as a board would say, sure, if you put together, you've got this great plan to put in all this landscaping and this little, I don't know, you're setting up a park for a pet cemetery, let's just say, and you've got this great idea and it's gonna help the neighbors out, and it's gonna be a really beautiful little corner on this private lot, on a lot that's here, you all can say, okay, yeah, we'll put some money as a board towards, buying flowers or doing whatever it would do to beautify this area, yes.
I also want to notate that whenever funds were more or less requested from the entities and MUD considered them for approval, it was done under a board vote. They were never disseminated or distributed without a board vote.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the rule across the
Yeah.
board.
I just wanted Hanoi to understand, this wasn't a committee, this wasn't one person on the
Yeah.
board, it was the
And,
board
and how
at the
many,
time.
how many people on that board were executive committee members of Amwana?
I just want you to understand, it wasn't just a willy-nilly situation of one person acting rogue.
Two of
It
them.
was done at a board vote
Yes.
when these things happened.
So that's water under the bridge. We're not going down that road. What we're gonna do is try to make sure it doesn't happen again. That public funds will be used for public works and not for personal, private, self-interest. That's the motion. You got a
Yes.
first and, oh, you're welcome, I'm sorry.
I'm done. I think
I've never seen Linda before from the table.
Well, I mean,
I know.
I'm looking this way, so I see in the back of my head that she needs an opportunity to speak.
This really bothers me, and I know it's all in the past, but the attaching of fines to a water bill for deed restriction violations and then taking that money and making it available to these HOAs. First of all, I would say HOAs collect dues and they can do what they wish with their dues. We, the board, we do not need to delegate the money to someone else to spend it. We can make the decision. We need to maintain that oversight on the money we spend in the projects we authorize. That's too many levels. I don't want to authorize another group to be in charge of the pet cemetery. If we want to do a pet cemetery, we can authorize that money and we can maintain oversight on the project. So, that's my position.
And let me just add one final thing. My lawsuit did include the putting fines on water bills. And my lawsuit was dismissed for jurisdiction. It was not dismissed because it didn't have merit. We know now, because of our previous attorney admitted in his interview, that putting fines on water bills and turning people's water off for failure to pay those fines was illegal. He said it in his interview. And it stopped immediately once he was hired. He wrote a resolution and they stopped doing that completely. So, yes, I fight for the rights of people, and I knew this was wrong all along. And the use of this money was also included in my lawsuit because it violates Texas Administrative Code to use public funds for your personal interests. So, having that cleared so that there's no different story floating out there, anybody who wants to see my lawsuit, it is available. I will be more than happy to surrender it. along with the judge's ruling, along with the contract, along with who paid for what, whose loss or legal fees were covered, all that information is public. So I have no issue with it. I stand proud for having defended the people of this district. So, motion, second, all we need to vote.
All right, so do we have a second? Who's second motion?
Kelly.
All right, so we have a second. All in favor of motion?
Abolishing the beautification funds resolution.
Vote.
41. Cole, you're up. Attorney's report.
Okay.
Be brief.
Let's see, attorney's report. Okay, really, last month, the only item I have, everything's kind of covered throughout the agenda in terms of resolutions that we've been drafting. Last month, you all adopted the resolution regarding fees of office, which increased your daily per diems but kept the annual the same. It wasn't on the agenda at the time of your last meeting, so we have it on this meeting as just to ratify the acceptance of said resolution. So I'd ask for a motion to just ratify the acceptance of that resolution, or the acceptance of the resolution regarding fees of office.
I move we ratify the acceptance of the resolution of the adopting of the fees of office.
Second. Have a second?
Yeah, we're all on board now.
All in favor? All right.
All right, do we have to go into executive?
David, you seconded that, right?
David seconded. Is there anything you need to go into executive session for item 10?
No, I don't have anything unless you all have any questions. Everything that you all discussed from the last meeting.
Did Old Mill correct?
I don't know.
Did Old Mill correct?
I emailed the attorney and I have not heard back.
Could you follow up on that?
Yeah, I did. I haven't heard back. Yeah, I'll follow up again though, yeah. I mean, it's just
That
a
was the only
sticker,
one we had
so.
outstanding, right?
Are we talking about this now or in closed session?
I just want to make sure that he's on.
Everything else that,
Right.
yeah, that
He's
you all,
following up on whatever he
Yes.
needs to follow
That's the
up.
only.
that's the only one, correct. That's the only follow-up.
All right.
Mackenzie, I'm going to really ask you to let Lenore drive the meeting.
Oh, no, I'm not, I was just gonna say, we've already discussed the next meeting date, but it's not the 13th, it's the 6th, just as a reminder. I know that this says the 13th. I just don't want y'all to forget about the meeting on the 6th.
So what I'll do for that meeting is I'll get an agenda drafted. It looks like it's just going to be the budget and
Leak detection approval.
something I have, leak detection approval. And we'll make sure that gets posted in a timely manner. If you all want me to attend that meeting, I can. I'm gonna send in my comments to your budget, to you, Linda, and the bookkeeper, no matter what. Probably save some bucks without having me there, but I'm around, so if you want me, just let me know.
All right. And we do have a future meeting set up already, so we've
For
discussed that.
September 13th
Yep.
is the general board.
Yep. I think that's it, right?
Looks like it.
All
Do you
right.
need anything from me on this?
And I think you signed it, if you can, I think you.
If you'll give
Give
anything
it
that
to
y'all
her.
sign to me, they need it FedEx next to the director.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second?
Second.
All right.
All in
Let's
favor?
go.